I think the apple's rotten right to the core. Is that too close to my mouth? That seems alright. Maybe. Maybe. I think the apple's rotten right to the core. Cut the apple down symmetrical lines. Find it kinda scary when you just wanna dive. Hello, beautiful people. Hi, how are you? Thank you, ISU Wick. Isuwick? Happy 7 months, my friend. XQC might know what I'm up to. Who knows? Is he the reason that I had to write muscles massive, brain huge? He's good at it. He's good at a title, you know? I think. I will keep doing the bit until I stop finding it funny. It's also just that I'm very lazy where content creation is concerned, and it makes it really easy for me. So, you know. I just go to whatever his thing is, and that's it. That's the title. What happened with the curls? Yeah, it's hot. So they came out. It happens. My hair is very heavy. I mean, there's still a little curl left, but it almost entirely fell out. That's what happens when you don't use heat. My hair is not naturally curly. It's fake. Soda tried it and it surprised. Was who? What? Huh? Who? Like stealing XQC's titles? There's something about him, you know? It's so funny. How have I been? How's life? Life's pretty good, yeah. I'm having a good time. Things are okay. I mean, there's some sucky stuff going on. But, yeah, I'm planning to make a video about this Mr. Beast Chris stuff tonight that dropped yesterday. After the stream, we'll do that. And, ladies and gentlemen, check this out. Boom. Elgato. Functional. We did it. Huge news. Huge news. Huge for everybody. So I did fix that. Thank God. So yeah, we'll finish the Alan Wake. Thank you. Elha Goromo 1. Thank you. That's so nice of you. Oh my God. The screenshot moved, Scott. It can't have been a screenshot. Technically, that's what we call a GIF. I don't know. What else have I missed? I haven't really been streaming. Haven't really been on the internet. Took 2 weeks off making videos. It is what it is. What else is what's going on? Yeah, there's also the Cody Co situation, which is crazy, dude. YouTubers don't message minors challenge. Difficulty impossible, apparently. It's fucking crazy. What is wrong with you? Yikes. Am I seeing Deadpool and Wolverine? Yeah, I'm seeing it Thursday night. Super excited. Really looking forward to it. Whoa, thank you, Evil Space Monkey. Thank you so much. And Aranest6, thank you. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's very nice of you. Thank you, Chacho. Mega drama. Apparently. I don't know what the mega drama is. Though, what else have I missed? since I've been offline, Biden stepped down. Why did he do it so late? I'm really having trouble with the sensitivity of this microphone. I'm either way too loud or way too quiet. I don't know. Thank you, Prodro DLC. Have they been keeping up with the dragons? I don't know what you mean by that. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah, we still I'm still planning to do that Bioshock giveaway. 750 subs. We got a ways to go. We got 368 to go. It's a while. It's gonna take a minute. Getting COVID probably didn't help. I mean, did you see that video of let me pull it up. The 2012 United States presidential debate. Bottom dollar bounties? Oh, I was like, whatever this game is, just blatantly copied off of GTA, but it just literally was GTA. Okay, watch this. This shit is wild. Make me smaller. Put me over here, and put you over there, and move everybody. And that's the text is too big. You know, y'all don't need to be that big. Maybe like that seems fine. And then display capture. I never know exactly what it's going to show you. Wah. Wah. I really should do this ahead of time, but I never do. I never know what we're going to check out. There was that time where we spoke about pigeons for 2 hours, so I just wanted to show you all this to see the difference, okay? Watch this. This is the 2012 United States presidential debate. Barack Obama, Mitt Romney.
Each of you have 2 minutes to start. A coin toss is determined. Mr. President, you go first.
Well, thank you very much, Jim, for this opportunity. I want to thank Governor Romney and the University of Denver for your hospitality. There are a lot of points I want to make tonight.
Already heartbreaking.
The most important one is that 20 years ago I became the luckiest man on earth because Michelle Obama agreed to marry me. And so I just want to
look how nice they both are.
Sweetie, you happy anniversary, and let you know that a year from now we will not be celebrating it in front of 40 million people.
Look at it, laughing at each other's jokes.
4 years ago,
little gaffes.
We went through the worst financial crisis since the Great Depression. Millions of jobs were
listening
lost.
To
the
each
auto
other.
Industry was on the brink of collapse.
He admitted the time now endangering 100%.
Financial system had frozen up, and because of the resilience and the determination of the American people,
we were so naive.
We
had no
idea. Fight
idea.
Our way back. Over the last 30 months, we've seen 5 million jobs in the private sector created.
Nobody's cut anybody off.
Come roaring back.
Nobody's cut anyone off.
Housing has begun to rise, but we all know that
they haven't even mentioned golf one time.
And so the question here tonight is not where we've been, but where we're going. Governor Romney has a perspective that says if we cut taxes skewed towards the wealthy and roll back regulations, that we'll be better off. I've got a different view. I think we've got to invest in education and training.
He just said I have a different view.
It's
not like this man is the dumbest man.
That we change our tax code.
No one's dumber.
Make sure that we're helping small businesses and companies that are investing here.
Never
in the United
met anybody
States,
dumber.
That we take some of the money that we're saving as we wind down 2 wars to rebuild America, and that we reduce our deficit in a balanced way.
You know what it is? You know what's crazy about it?
Critical investments.
It's boring.
Now, it ultimately is going to be up to the voters, to you, which path we should take. Are we going to double down on the top-down economic policies that help to get us into this mess, or do we embrace a new economic patriotism that says America does best?
It should. I strongly agree. It should be boring.
And I'm looking forward to having that debate.
Governor Romney, 2 minutes.
Okay, here's the thing I will say about Trump. Okay. I think Trump is really funny. Like, Trump sometimes says some shit that I think is really funny. Sometimes I don't know if it's intentional. Sometimes it is. He is really funny. And when he wasn't president, I was like, that's actually hilarious. When he is, I'm like, Oh no, he can do whatever he wants. Oh shit. No, you can't vote on a green card. I'm not allowed to
Here
vote.
with you, and I appreciate the chance to be with the president. I'm pleased to be at the University of Denver. Appreciate their welcome, and also the Presidential Commission on these debates. And congratulations to you, Mr. President, on your anniversary. I'm sure this was the most romantic place you could imagine. Here with me. So I've
said this before. The US used to have this like image of the president being a cool guy. Like in all the movies, Mr. President, there's a bomb under the Vatican. Oh, well, that's a different country. The Vatican is not actually under American jurisdiction. Why are you calling me? I don't feel like I need to be informed. Irrelevant. My point is, movies used to have the president be this cool, handsome, charming guy. He used to be cool. He'd wear cool glasses. He was a little bit younger. And these two don't even look that fucking old. Oh my god. I think that's done now. I think all of the cool that the US presidency used to carry is gone in fiction forever. Gone. I think you now only have big dumb fucking buffoons. That's it. Or at least, like, it'll only ever be portrayed that way in fiction. It is no longer cool to be president of the United States. We peaked at Obama's skateboarding. Like, it really ramped up. Took some hits around Bush Jr., you know, and then came back up again. Obama skateboarding, peak cool. Now, no. It's terrible forever. They can only ever have him be a fucking clown in any media ever going forward. So, thanks for that, Trump. Thanks for that. I really appreciate it. How bad would it have to get in the States for you to consider going back to Australia? The unfortunate truth, not even unfortunate, great fortune for me. The truth is, I mean, I guess I care about women's bodily autonomy, but for the most part, there are not a lot of changes that I think could be enacted at a government level that I like quickly, right? With like passing through the houses quickly that would negatively impact me. Like, I doubt either president will have a tremendously negative impact on me, though, I suppose. Like, you know, being a foreigner, green card, they could change shit. I don't know. If stuff changed, it's just hard for them to pass anything in 4 years, right? It's, like, difficult for me to imagine Trump getting in and my life being dramatically worse. That's not to say a lot of other people's lives wouldn't be dramatically worse, but I don't think mine would have a tremendous difference. Yeah, we consider women to be people here. It's a bold take, I know. It's true. Education system needs a rework globally, my friend. Is a literal civil war a breaking point? I don't know. I don't know. Would I ever like to live anywhere else if my job was not a factor? Totally. Yeah. I'd fuck off to Europe in a heartbeat. And I actually, you know, this, all this, like, Project 2025 stuff? Because I don't know if it's true or not. I don't really understand what it is. I just have heard about it. Is this a real thing? Does anyone else know about this? I've just, like, seen social media posts, but I'm not really sure what it is exactly. It is, so is this like a Trump thing? A thing that Trump is doing? A lot of ex-Trump people. Okay. It's not enough for conservatives to win elections. If we are going to rescue the country from the grip of the radical left, capitalized, nice, we need both a governing agenda and the right people in place, ready to carry this agenda out on day one of the next conservative administration. This is the goal of the 2025 Presidential Transition Project. I don't like the sound of Presidential Transition Project. That would imply that there is something post-president, which makes me uncomfortable. The project will build on our four pillars, collectively, that will collectively pave the way for an effective conservative administration. Policy agenda? Yeah, give me that policy, baby. Book is the product of more than 400 scholars. Okay, but what's the policy? Where to find playbook? Policies. 180-day playbook. Okay, that's interesting. You're just telling me to buy books? Oh, no, okay. What has this got in it? You got anything interesting for me in here? Section 1, taking reins of the government. I don't like the sound of that. We need page 19. Taking reins of the... I mean, no, the reins of the government is okay. Reins of the government is... They're allowed to take reins of the government, technically. Yeah, buckle up, everybody who can read all 928 pages here on stream. Hope you signed up for homework. That's the plan tonight. Ain't reading all that. God, yes. Not reading that either. This is just credits. This is just more listing of people's names. Okay, hang on. I gotta go back to the... I don't want to read a bunch of people's fucking names, bro. White House office, that is office. Executive office, I don't need that. I don't need agencies. I don't need Department of Defense. So this has got to be the part where they tell me what they plan to do, right? Yeah, you're right. I should just Google the Cliff Notes version. Let's do that. I'm not reading this whole fucking document. I'm blonde. I can't read. Project 2025 Cliff Notes. So summary. Summary? All right. So there's whatever this is. I'm just not convinced it's real. Is this a real thing? So but I would need to find proof that it's real. You can't just say it is. Because this wasn't on the website. How do I find proof that this is real? This is just everything that's in that document. So then we need to cross-reference the two, right? First, let's read the things on here, okay? End no-fault divorce. Complete ban on abortion without contraception, without exceptions. That's fucking crazy. I don't get that at all. Without exceptions? I can't even comprehend that, because what if somebody is going to die? And the baby could also die. No exceptions? Not even one exception? Are you sure that's the good idea? Ban contraceptives? This can't be real. Okay. How did that already? I got stuck on one and then this one? Ban contraceptives? All of them? I also feel like it might be a conspiracy theory, okay? Look, all of them? That includes condoms, you guys. Okay, I'm going to cross-reference. Okay, so we have to find abortion somewhere in this document. There are 199 mentions of abortion in this document. The next conservative president must make the institutions of American civil society hard targets for woke culture warriors. Okay. This document literally mentions woke culture warriors. Has Trump endorsed this? Because I now suspect, based on those three words, that everything here probably is in this document, but that doesn't necessarily make it real. They start with deleting terms. The terms... What? This starts with deleting the terms sexual orientation and gender identity? What? Hang on. This sentence is fucking crazy. Okay. This starts with deleting the terms sexual orientation, gender identity, diversity, equity, inclusion, gender equality, gender equity, gender awareness, gender sensitive, abortion, reproductive health, reproductive rights, and any other term used to deprive Americans of their First Amendment rights out of every federal rule, agency, regulation, contract, grant, regulation, piece of legislation that exists. You know what's funny about that? That's going to be quite difficult. You're going to remove the word gender. You're going to remove reproductive health from every federal rule. How many federal rulings do you think happen to mention gender, even in passing? But here's the funny thing about it. They're just planning to delete the terms. Just the terms. Which you could argue is sort of libertarian, and like the good parts of libertarian, which is like, maybe the government's not going to get involved. Government has no say. You could do whatever the fuck you want, in theory, which we're okay with. The government shouldn't probably have a say in sexual orientation or gender identity. People should just be able to do whatever the fuck they want. Maybe. Thank you, Dumando. Pornography manifested today in the omnipresent propagation of transgender ideology and sexualization of children, for instance, is not a political accordion, not inextricably binding up disparate claims about free speech, property rights, sexual liberation, and child welfare. It has no claim to First Amendment protection. That's saying pornography has no claim to First Amendment protection. Surveyors are child predators and misogynistic exploiters of women. Wait, so they also intend to ban porn? Their product is as addictive and illicit as any illicit drug and as psychologically destructive as any crime. I like go back and forth on how I feel about porn. Could an insane person do this? Writes a 900-page document. Because like some parts of me are like, well, porn's entertainment. It's just entertainment. This is just different kind of entertainment for human beings, right? But then I do feel like porn addiction is a real thing that is fucking with a lot of people quite badly. And that there is like known evidence of escalation. Like the younger someone starts consuming porn, the more they consume and the more violent it tends to get. Which doesn't feel great. Do I think it should be a crime? No. I do not think watching pornography should be a crime unless children. Also, always interesting that the states that tend to watch the most trans porn are Republican states. But y'all ain't ready for that discussion. Y'all ain't ready for that one. Okay, so far it has not mentioned the outright ban of all abortions, but this is what pretends to be a legal document and says the phrase woke culture warriors. Hang on. This is promise number 1. Let's just go up further, because right now... Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I have it so far cut over. I still need to find any evidence that this is not just like a bunch of shitbags put some shit together that won't have any ground in anything, you know? Promise 1. Restore the family as the centerpiece of American life and protect our children. Great. The next conservative president must get to pursuing the true priority of politics, the well-being of the American family. Hey. Sounds great. In many ways, the entire point of centralizing political power is to subvert the family. Looking at the authors, I don't think would actually tell me if any of this is actionable. I would need to find like some endorsement from the Republicans. But I will look it up. In many ways, the entire point is centralizing its purpose is to replace people's natural loves and loyalties with the unnatural ones. You see this in the popular left-wing aphorism, government is simply the name we give to the things we choose to do together. Oh, that's actually really cute, you guys. The left, that's actually really cute. But in real life, most of these people do together have nothing to do with the government. Most of the things people do together. Okay. These are the mediating institutions that serve as the building blocks of any healthy society: marriage, family, work, church, school, volunteering. The name real people give to the things we do together is community, not government. Okay, shut up. Stop telling me how smart you think you are. Today, the American family is in crisis. 40% of all children are born to unmarried mothers, including more than 70% of black children. There is no government program that can replace the hole in the child's soul cut out by the absence of a father. God damn. That's so brutal. Look up the heritage. One step at a time. I will find the validity of said document afterwards. But I'm just not going to blindly assume that it's true right now. But we will look it up. I will figure out a means to try to verify if this document is something worth heeding at all. Thank you for the gifted sub, CS Kimberbar. Fatherlessness is one of the principal sources of American poverty, crime, mental illness, teens. What do you intend to do about that? Like, if you think that fatherlessness is that big of an issue, what are you gonna prevent fathers from leaving? Are you gonna make divorce illegal? Wasn't that number one? So many of the problems government programs are designed to solve but can't are ultimately problems created by the crisis of marriage and the family. The world has never seen a thriving, healthy, free, and prosperous society where most children grow up without their married parents. Sure. That's okay. If current trends continue, we're heading towards social implosion. There is no evidence of that either. Furthermore, the next conservative president must understand that using government alone to respond to the symptoms of family crisis is a dead end. Give me the goal, elevate, whatever. Today, the left is threatening the tax-exempt status of churches and charities that reject woke progressivism. They will soon turn Christian schools into clubs at the same totalitarian. Okay, what are you trying to do? So the step one of this was... Step one of save the families and stop kids from growing up without dads is to delete terms, which is fucking stupid, but okay. That's like... It'll never not be funny to me how often, like, hardcore conservatives claim that everything is... like mind control, woke mind control. You know what I mean? Is it people arguing in chat? I don't care if people argue in chat too much. As long as they don't attack each other. Don't name call. You're allowed to argue. Just don't name call. They ban books, right. It's like, people will call, like, liberals Orwellian, you know, because of 1984, but, like, removing terms is half of what that book is about. That's... Deleting books the minute that they don't fit with the current government agenda is, like, a large portion of that book. Deleting terms is so Orwellian. That is very 1984. It's so weird that they'll be like, oh, the left, the woke mind virus wants 1984, but then they like delete these terms from the fucking amendments. Just get it out of there. No legislation whatsoever. It's the same thing. Thank you, Frito Sandwich. Yeah, deleting terms is, and again, they do burn books. It's also true. It's very Orwellian, that's all. I don't love that book, by the way. It's an interesting read. It did do a good job of predicting some things. Thank you, Yankee JB. But it's also written like somebody wanted to share their opinion, and like one part of it in the middle is literally just like sort of a manifesto. It's not a very long book. There's like a 20-page manifesto. I don't remember the main character's name. I couldn't really differentiate many of the characters that well. It's a weird one. It's like so important and pivotal and a very interesting political piece and makes you think. And it has this bit where it was very profound for me to read, where the main character, who, again, his name I don't remember, basically like talks about how he wants to beat the shit out of this woman. And it's because she's really attracted to him. Other way around, sorry. It's because he's really attracted to her. And I was like, oh, that explains a lot. It's like one of the only times that he really, really wants to enact violence against somebody. And it's because he really wants to fuck her. And kind of can't, because at that point she is effectively sexless. And I was like, damn. No, I'm not talking about Ayn Rand. George Orwell. Thank you, Lazy Gamer. Yeah, he's right, though. There'd be a lot of dudes out there who feel that way. And when I read it, I was like, wow, this is the first time I've ever seen a man admit to feeling this way. That's fucking crazy. And it changed how I felt about certain things, where I was like, wow, they really do just feel that way. That's not all men, obviously. It's probably a pretty small amount of men feel that way, but some of them fucking do. Brave New World, I think, is an even worse book. 1984 Pivotal, definitely should read it. But it's strangely written. It really does read like somebody wrote an essay and sort of turned it fictional. Brave New World, the start of that book is just people talking about, it's the same thing. The start of it's just a fucking manifesto about breeding. It's crazy. Don't love the way that book's written. I did just start reading Lord of the Flies, by the way, which very well written. Haven't never read it before. Okay, so porn. So far the plan is get rid of just accurate words. The second part of the plan is get rid of porn. Third part of the plan is schools serve parents, not the other way around. That is, of course, the best argument for universal school choice. Parents' rights is their children's primary educators should be non-negotiable in American schools. I can sort of agree with that on a face level. State, cities, counties, school boards, union bosses, principals, and teachers who disagree should be immediately cut off from federal funds. Cut all education that disagrees. Wait, okay, so it's saying cut all funding for education or any person in education who would fundamentally disagree that parents' rights should be the Okay, well, I feel like the children should be the primary goal of education. Is that a disagreeable thing to say? Schools serve parents, not the other way around. Agreed with that, but it should be schools serve children. Like, societally, the goal of education is to serve the children, not the parents. But okay. If you say so, we're just cutting funding for everybody who disagrees with us, apparently. The noxious tenets of critical race theory and gender ideology should be excised from curricula in every public school in the country. It's so fucking stupid. Like, not teaching people things is not a solution. Yeah, this is Project 2025. This is my first time reading it. Thank you, The Dumple. How dare you teach my child facts I don't like? Yeah, Thank you, Bebop Jared. Schools can be a safety net for kids abused by Yeah, true. Schools don't serve parents. Schools and parents are partners in the education of children. I think that's how it should be. Strongly agree that's how it should be. Thank you, Big Bubba Chuggalug. A large part of modern conservative project is defunding the Department of Education. Oh, is it? They just intend to completely defund education in general? I have a lot of opinions on education, and I think I've said this publicly before. I've definitely spoken about it on Play, Watch, Listen, where there is a world where in the future I start to get involved in politics, education specifically. I feel very strongly that there are a lot of issues with the current education system. My issues are so fucking different from don't teach the kids critical race theory or gender ideology, though. Like, my biggest problem with the current education system, it's one of the only systems that we have that relies on tradition rather than on any kind of science. It doesn't rely on any proven outcome. And there are so many different ways that kids learn that the schooling system, the education system, is only catered to one kind of child. It sets up a whole bunch of kids for failure. You'll remember the kids that they called problem kids that you went to school with that were in your class. Any kid who has ADHD is set up to fail. And it's not even like, I don't think the solution to that should be medicating them. There should be multiple different kinds of learning. We should have different structures, different class sets, different things catered to a particular different group of children's learning capacities. Like, for example, is a thing that I always, like, I got fucking A's through school. I was a very good student. And I didn't even try. The reason I was always really good at school is because I was good at writing. Because I was good at writing, I could write a good essay. I could get through ancient history. I could get through legal. I could get through even art studies. Anything that required me to write an essay, I was going to get an A in because I was good at writing. Did it mean that I was smarter than the other kids? Nope. Did it mean I worked harder than the other kids? Nope. I got an A on a fucking book report one time and I didn't even read the book. But because I could write convincingly, I didn't really have to pay attention. And my sister, on the other hand, has a very different kind of learning to me, where she is not great at paying a lot of attention for a long period of time, writing a lot for a long period of time. I helped her with a lot of her essays. So she had a lot more trouble in school. We went to very similar schools. We had a relatively similar upbringing, but we're like two kids with very, very, very different strengths and learning abilities. So I feel like I coasted through school, didn't have to fucking try. Nobody ever tapped into any of the things I was particularly passionate about, again, outside of writing, which I was mostly doing in my own time anyway. I like lied my way through school. It was no effort for me. My sister had virtually the opposite experience because she didn't have the attention span to sit there and write an essay. That is not a failure of my sister, which would be reflected on her report cards. That is not a success of me. That is a failure of the system. And I think you see so many kids with so many different approaches to learning or different strengths that get treated like they're not good enough just because the education system is a fucking square and you can't fit all the other shapes in it. And I just, how, like, surely we all know this. We all recognize these same exact problems with the education system, that there are all these troubled kids go through the exact same shit. The kids who get bored, the kids who aren't stimulated by whatever fucking bullshit they have to read today, the kids who aren't book smart. Weird term, but like there is just absolutely nothing to serve children who function that way or people who function that way. That I just feel like we're ultimately massively failing them. There is a world where in the far future that I get into education reform in some capacity, but it is not to get rid of things like critical race theory or gender ideology. That's not my plan. I think serving kids should be number one, and if you're gonna focus on what you need to fucking serve kids for, I don't feel like not teaching them terms is the ideal. I would really like to make it so that learning is more accessible to different kinds of children. Thesis. Thank you, Kiragorn, and Turiel, and Chopsticks. Did I school in Brisbane? Yeah, I went to Ascot State Primary School for a little while, and then I went to Kedron State High. So I've been publicly schooled my whole life. Well, I can't get involved in the American education system as I am not a citizen. And maybe I would get involved in Australia. I'm not sure, but it is a thing that I've always felt really passionately about. I also just think that the American education system, especially Reagan, did a real great job because of lobbyists. I don't think that you can get very far in the American political system without being corrupt. I think if you are an American politician, you're almost forced to be corrupt. Because of the way that lobbyists work, because of the fact that they need so much fucking funding. Whereas I don't feel like that's necessarily the case in Australia. I don't think, like, have all these friends who are posting about how they're glad that Genocide Joe is gone. There is no universe in which any Democratic presidential candidate is not pro-Israel. It's not a Joe Biden thing. It is an American thing, and they have to go with the fact that they have a military outpost in the Middle East. There is no fucking presidential candidate, even potential, that exists in this country that would last a second that isn't pro-Israel. So people who are being like, fuck you, Genocide Joe, he's out, fuck off. It cannot change. Like, for now, they will all fail because really all they give a fuck about is the military and money, right? Like, the people dying don't matter to the fucking president. They've killed people without even looking them in the face a bunch of times. All of them. I think, I don't even know what Bernie's stance was, but to be clear, Bernie didn't get the nom, right? It's just, there's no winning on that particular thing, and it sucks to be complicit because all of our taxes are going towards that. But there ain't nobody else running who is not also going to be pro-Israel. Thank you, Corso Twitch. Allowing parents or physicians to reassign sex of a minor is child abuse and must end. I would agree with that. Parents and physicians should not be reassigning the sex of minor children. The child is allowed to have a say in their sexual identity, but parents and physicians should not. For public institutions use taxpayer dollars to declare the superiority or inferiority of certain races, sexes, and religions is a violation of the Constitution. Why does that have to do with anything? Public institutions use taxpayer dollars to declare the superiority or... We agree. We're in agreement. I'm confused. We agree. Is Bernie a Zionist? I don't actually know. Again, he's not a candidate, but Bernie Sanders. One of my favorite Bernie Sanders quotes of all time that I think about all the time is when he presented an alternative for healthcare, and it was like, I don't know, billions of dollars, and they were like, it's this much money. And he went, as opposed to what? Which, related everybody, I called 12 dentists today. 12 dentists, and none of them would take me. 12. Which is why majority of the time that I go to the dentist, I do it in Australia, which is fucking insane. 12. And then I gave up finally. Then I was like, fuck it. Nobody takes my plan. Fuck all of you. I guess I'll just fucking fly home. 12 dentists. Fuck this country. It makes me so mad. Like, as somebody who has the comparison of being outside of the US and knowing what healthcare is like in Australia compared to here, it's fucking dog shit. Oh my God. 12. 12. And then I was like, I'm not going to fucking call anyone. They're all just rejecting me. This is fucking crazy. What do I even pay for? Okay, Bernie Sanders Zionist. I want to see if Bernie is... So, a little Bernie chat for you here. That's what I'm talking about, Frito Sandwich. Thank you for sharing. Appreciate that. News. Bernie Sanders' statement on Israel, Palestine, and growing humanitarian disaster. This is actually written by Bernie. Yep, following statement. Since October 7th, there has not been a day that goes by that I'm not deeply saddened and distressed by the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. To see innocent young people slaughtered at a music festival, children and elderly people kidnapped, and then thousands of civilians killed, including entire families being wiped out, and thousands of children dead, torments me and millions of others who are watching this conflict unfold, but we cannot look away. I wish there was a simple solution to this conflict. There isn't. This is written by Bernie himself. Non-binding resolutions that Congress won't pass can't do that. The issue now is to act decisively to end the indiscriminate bombing by Israel, which has caused the deaths of an estimated 12,000 people, and secure a significant humanitarian pause so that the massive humanitarian aid that is needed, food, water, medicine, and fuel, can get into Gaza to save lives. That is the immediate crisis that must be addressed. The way to bring about real change in this horrific situation is to attach conditions to any supplemental spending bill for Israel that comes before Congress. The issues that must be addressed in the bill are an end to indiscriminate bombing and a significant pause so that the humanitarian assistance... Significant pause? The right of displaced Gazans to return to homes, no long-term Israeli occupation in Gaza, an end to settle violence in the West Bank, and a freeze on settlement expansion, and a commitment to broad peace talks for a two-state solution in the wake of the war. Lastly, Hamas has been very clear, both before its barbaric attack on October 7th and after that attack, that their goal is perpetual warfare and the destruction of Israel. Just last week, a spokesman for Hamas, Mr. Taher El-No, told the New York Times, I hope that the state of war with Israel will become permanent on all the borders and that the Arab world will stand with us. I am not quite sure how you negotiate a ceasefire with the terrorist organization. This sounds to me like Bernie is a little Zionist. Bernie is a liberal Zionist. That's how it feels, yeah. The person who's asking about Australia, I didn't say that Australia was infinitely better, but I would consider the US to be worse because of the lobbyists. I would say, at the very least, having lived in both, the Australian healthcare system is 1,000 fucking times better. Thank you, Ghost Girl. The education system is also better. It's cheaper. You don't have to go into debt immediately. Yeah, there are many ways in which Australia is not perfect. I'm certainly not saying that. But are there ways in which I feel it is better? Yes. So yeah, Bernie would not have been anti-Israel. Debunked. I don't think, as said, I don't think that any political candidate, I don't want to say ever, but in any time in the next 30 years will be anti-Israel. What are the wait times to see specialists in Australia? I called 12 dentists today. 12 fucking dentists. No one would see me. The one who even offered to let me pay out of pocket, which I don't want to do because I'm paying hundreds of dollars for fucking insurance, told me the first time that they could see me was August 13th. When I go to Australia, I go to the dentist. No one rejects me, and I usually get an appointment. When I go, I land, I get there, and I'm like, hey, can I have a dentist appointment? And I go within the next 3 days. Ugh. And I'm from a major city, more populated than most US cities. Yeah, okay. So, no, Bernie would not be anti-Israel. That's the end of that. Okay, back to this. Back to this shit show. So we agree here. Great. There was another thing we agreed on, which was public institutions should not use taxpayer dollars to declare the superiority or inferiority of certain races. We agree on that. We love that. What should America have for the healthcare, by your opinion? I liked Bernie's stance. It was great. Can confirm 100% takes a few days at most to see your preferred doc or dentist. Yeah. Australia is like, okay, when I had pneumonia here, last year, was that last year? Yeah, last year. It took me 4 weeks to see the doctor, who I pay for hundreds of dollars every month, insurance. 4 weeks to get an appointment. I would see them. They would not prescribe me enough meds. I would have to wait 4 to 5 weeks to get another appointment, and thus the pneumonia just came back. I had a mild form of pneumonia, they call it walking pneumonia, for 3 months straight. I had 3 months worth of pneumonia because I couldn't see the doctor in time. My lungs will be damaged forever. Would that have happened in Australia? No. And again, I'm from a city that is, like, Brisbane is more populated than most US cities. If you put it in the list of US cities, it is, I don't know, top 15? I don't know. More populated than most US cities. Top 10? I don't fucking know. It's a nightmare. But yeah, not to say Australia is perfect. Our government's a fucking shit show, to be clear. Also a fucking massive disaster. But there are things I prefer. Brisbane and Las Vegas have the same population. Oh, there you go. I don't think many US politicians would be anti-Israel. Yeah, I think they functionally can't be. Every threat to family stability must be confronted. Okay. The worst of these companies prey on children like drug dealers to get them addicted to their mobile apps. Okay, interesting. We're taking a turn here. Consider our approach to big tech. Many Silicon Valley executives famously don't let their own kids have smartphones. They nevertheless make billions of dollars addicting other people's children to theirs. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and other social media platforms are specifically designed to create the digital dependencies. I agree with this. Am I a conservative? Project 2025! The feel mental illness and anxiety to fray children's bonds with their parents and siblings. Federal policy cannot allow this industrial-scale child abuse to continue. This is an interesting one. Do I think social media addiction will be massively frowned upon when we've actually studied the effects in like 10 years? Yes. Do I think the government should regulate that? Probably not. It seems like a massive violation of freedom of speech and would take a huge hit on community. But I do feel like something needs to change. It's not great. I just don't know how we fix that. Surely the giant corporations will regulate themselves. Man, I think we have to self-regulate, right? Like, I have timers on all of my apps. I can only use social media for an hour a day. That's it. MAGA Alanah is scaring you. Hang on, no. Let me get MAGA Alanah out. What's her name? Allison Pearson, I think is my MAGA name. I think that was it. I've forgotten. It's been so long since I've been in Alice Pearson. Since I've been in that character. Now, here's the thing about the liberals that are ruining America. They just keep coming over the borders, communists, and turning the streets into trash. Have you seen downtown Los Angeles? Full of gays. There's too many gays. They have rainbow flags everywhere in front of the children. What if the children start liking rainbows? And become communists? Do you want Russian children? That's what Putin would want. So, give me a talk show now. Let's go. There's too many communist gays out here. Russian communist gays. California, you know? And they all age so badly because they're so, and their shoulders are all up. And they just, all the time. And if the poor people can afford it, the country's going to shit. Wait. The conservatives love Russia now? Do they? Not the Russian homo kids. They're storming into the country. And there's nothing we can do about it. Taking our guns and our jobs. The gay Russian kids. All they want to do is make out on the streets. It's hurting my throat speaking that high. Obviously. And they're all addicted to drugs. All of them are transitioning. I heard they're getting BBLs for their dogs these days. That's what I heard. And they're forcing their cats to transition. Their cats identify as Chinese now. What is it that Eminem said? It was some stupid bullshit like that. They're just, everybody's transferring fat and hormones all over the gay streets. You know, when does it end? I think I've got it down. I think I could run. Yeah, litter box. Yeah. They want litter boxes in the classrooms now because my gay son identifies as a cat. What if the kids, you know, what if the kids want somebody to think of them? Nobody thinks of them. It's, you know, and sometimes you just gotta, how did they're just so worked up all the time. You know what I mean? I think that I've got, okay, if I get cancelled, you guys, if I ever get cancelled, like proper cancelled, they're done with me. Here's what I'm gonna do. You have my official game plan. Okay? The game plan is thus. I'm going to get a bunch of plastic surgery to make me look much older. Like age my face, like pull it all down, you know what I mean? And audition for Fox News. And you'll hear Alice Pearson. And you'll be like, I fucking knew her. And I will just say the dumbest shit possible to make them sound more stupid from the inside out. You have my word. If I get cancelled, plastic surgery. Make me look older. And I don't know what other, like, would huge fake tits go down well with conservatives? What if I got big old fake titties? What color hair? I feel like it's got to be blonde. BBL Alanah, yeah, I'll get my BBL. Do they like huge fake titties? Or would that not be allowed in politics? White girls politicking as a Sarah Palin. Getting high. I think that maybe they won't like that. I feel like they won't allow women who have tits to be in politics. So maybe we don't do that. But BBL, definitely. Make myself look older. Yeah, and then get a bunch of Botox. So that my old face doesn't move. So I have to, like... at all times. And then you'll see me. Alice Pearson on Fox News. Killing it. Making millions. I'll be fucking out there. Sometimes people accuse me of having Botox. I don't know why. And it really does confuse me because I move my face so much. You know that if you have Botox, you can't do that, right? It stops you from moving your face. Who knows? Anyway, back to this very important document. The gays ruining the streets. Federal policy. Okay, so basically, they want to ban, regulate TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, but not guns. You pick and decide when you care about kids. Thoughts and prayers when they get shot in a classroom. Regulate big tech when they're on their phones too much. Thoughts and prayers, baby. Finally, conservatives should gratefully celebrate the greatest pro-family win in the generation, overturning Roe v. Wade. A decision that for 5 decades made a mockery of our constitution that facilitated the deaths of tens of millions of unborn children. You just want, like, to host a parade for Roe v. Wade? A Roe v. parade, if you will? Nice. You can credit Alice Pearson for that one. Everybody's, like, all they're asking for here is just to celebrate something that already happened. Roe v. parade. All right. That's all you're asking for. You just a celebration. There's a whole paragraph about just celebrating something that already happened. You're just like, and we want a party as well, actually. We would also like a party, thank you. And if we can't have the party, then what's the point? Okay. This conservative president should work with Congress to enact the most robust protections for the unborn that Congress... Okay, so this is all abortion stuff. The next president has a moral responsibility to lead the nation in restoring a culture of life in America again. Have we lost life in America? You think that we currently don't have life in America? You know my favorite thing about Biden and his previous 4 years? Fucking boring. Didn't really have to think about anything. He basically slept. And it was very relaxing, to be honest. I mean, I really am glad he's retiring. Jesus Christ, let the old people retire. Thank you, Bobo Moto. Because the libs go to sleep when they take the presidency. That is sort of true. Ukraine war was not boring. Yeah, but how is that Biden? That wasn't Biden's fault. And now he's just taking a nap. And I'm happy for him. That's all I'm saying. We need to value life. I still don't know what that means, to be honest. In summary, the next president has a moral responsibility to lead the nation in restoring a culture of life in America again. What? What happened to life? I mean... See, this is interesting. Alternate options to abortion, especially adoption, should receive federal and state support. I don't disagree that adoption should receive more federal and state support. What does it actually say about abortion here? The next conservative president should work with Congress to enact the most robust protections for the unborn that Congress will support while deploying existing federal powers to protect innocent life and vigorously complying with statutory bans on the federal funding of abortion. Conservatives should ardently pursue these pro-life and pro-family policies, while recognizing that many women who find themselves in immensely difficult and often tragic situations and the heroism of every choice to become a mother. Okay, so it's like very pro-abortion, but it's not saying the under no circumstances, because this complete ban on abortions without exceptions. We haven't seen that yet, but, you know, that's just one of the... Look how many times fucking abortion is mentioned. One of the 199 times abortion is mentioned. Okay, yeah, that's 2. That's 3. 4. Bureaucrats and State Department infuse foreign aid programs with woke extremism about intersectionality and abortion. I can't believe how many times they mention woke extremism in this fucking document. It's fine. It's fine. Gender Policy Council. The president should immediately revoke Executive Order 14020 and every policy, including sub-regulatory guidance documents produced on behalf of or related to the establishment or promotion of Gender Policy Council and its subsidiary issues. Abolishing the Gender Policy Council. I don't know what that even is. Would eliminate central promotion of abortion, so that's not saying ban abortion. In Africa, Skinner writes, the US should focus on core security, economic, and human rights rather than impose radical abortion and pro-LGBT initiatives. Radical abortion initiatives is such a funny sentence. Fucking radical abortions, dude. Fucking, that's the future liberals want. Abortions! All through the streets! They're having abortions, I hear, at 6 years old. What are we gonna do next? Did I tell you guys about the previously conservative doctor that I met? Actually, still is conservative, but was anti-abortion, and then had the realization of how many young girls, including teenagers, had been assaulted by family members, and changed his stance. Completely changed his stance. Was like, you know what? I'm alright with it. So that's some shit. The Biden administration has deformed the agency by treating... Sorry, this is only number 7, by the way. The Biden administration has deformed the agency by treating it as a global platform to pursue overseas a divisive political and cultural agenda that promotes abortion, climate extremism, gender radicalism, and... Okay, so let's say get rid of it. What's radical abortions? What's radical abortions? It's just... I just feel like it's fear-mongering. The abortions are radical now? Apparently. Abortions on a skateboard. That is the future liberals want. The minute that you get a 2-for-1 deal, abortion and skateboard hand in hand. Every time you buy a skateboard, you get a free abortion. That's radical, kids. Tom Cruise performing the abortion during stunts? I'd watch it. I'd watch it. That's pretty sick. Reverse policies allow transgender individuals to serve in the military. That's interesting. Reverse policies that allow transgender individuals to serve in the military. Gender dysphoria is incompatible with the demands of military service, and the use of public monies for transgender surgeries or to facilitate abortion for service members should be ended. Does that mean that you recognize that gender dysphoria is something that is concerning and worthy of treatment? And do they know that usually post-transition the dysphoria is gone? So people who have transitioned no longer have gender dysphoria or dysmorphia. They don't have it anymore once they've transitioned. It's effectively the cure. Not joking, some Republicans believe post-birth abortions happen, like where they straight up just kill babies. That is murder. Okay. Why do we keep hearing about African nations? Focus on core diplomatic activities and stop promoting policies birthed in the American culture wars. African nations are particularly unreasonably non-receptive to the U.S. social policies such as because they just think Africa's like really good about saying no to abortion and gays. Okay, you just want to be more like Africa? Is what I'm reading from the 3 times that you've mentioned this. I'm not reading the full 900 pages. Okay, we have gotten to 191 though. I'm just reading through all 199 mentions of abortion. Oh boy. This review should take into account long-standing provisions in federal law that prohibit the use of taxpayer dollars to promote abortions. That's still not an outright ban. It's just defunding, which is not far off, really. The US government should not and cannot promote or fund abortion in international programs or multilateral organizations. Didn't know they were doing that, but there's a lot of shit I don't know. Technically, the US government, the United States, can prevent its international funding from going towards abortions. Is the US funding international abortions? Is that happening right now? Is this something we should be concerned about? Do I consider myself an American now? No, I'm not an American citizen. What is this American... This is radical abortions. Americans are just funding international abortions? Maybe in a first aid type way? Oh, well, yeah, I could see that. Like, if they're funding abortions for, like, families who, you know, the mother's about to die or whatever. It kind of makes sense. But the US will have a greater impact by including like minded nations and building on the coalition launched through the Geneva Consensus Declaration with a view to shaping the work of international agencies by functioning as a united front. Okay. The Biden administration has deformed the agency by treating it as a global platform to pursue overseas a divisive political and cultural agenda that promotes abortion, climate extremism. Climate extremism? Is that the term that they use for climate change? Climate extremism? Hang on. What the fuck do you consider to be climate extremism? Climate extremism. Climate extremism is having trouble finding examples of climate extremism. Doesn't come up when you Google it. Doesn't come up when you Google it. Okay. I guess climate extremism is people who think climate change is real. Unless it... Hang on. Maybe we should abort abortion for a minute. Climate extremism. Mentioned twice. The Biden administration is deformed... Yeah, that's one we just read, right? Gender radicalism and interventions against perceived systemic racism. It's just the same thing. It's just woke ideas. Climate extremism is a woke idea. So is gender radicalism. Another mention of Africa. Localization is a buzzword within the aid community, but correctly assumes that more funding through local organizations has proved difficult to achieve. However, given intense internal bureaucratic resistance, opposition from the aid industrial complex, and foot dragging from progressives who view local NGOs, especially faith-based NGOs, prominent in Africa. Okay, whatever, I don't give a shit. Nope, okay, it's used 3 times to mention the woke mob. The wokies, very extreme about the climate. Really climate extreme. Thank you, Willbound Gamer. No idea. Great. Sorry, back to abortion. Hang on, I kind of want to just search the word woke. Oh, it's only 35. I missed this page. A Promise to America. 44 years ago, the United States and the conservative movement. I missed page 1. We're in dire straits. I'm not reading all that. Moreover, low-income communities are drowning in addiction and government dependence. Contemporary elites have repurposed the worst ingredients of the 1970s radical chic to build a totalitarian cult known today as the Great Awakening. And now, as then, the Republican Party seems to have little understanding about what to do. Most alarming of all, the very moral foundations of our society are in peril. Okay. Today, the left is threatening the tax-exempt status of churches and charities that reject woke progressivism. I mean... I low-key don't think churches should be tax-exempt. Am I allowed to say that? I low-key don't think that they should all be tax-exempt. Maybe they don't pay as much taxes. I don't think they should be tax-exempt. They make a lot of money and don't I mean, the fucking Vatican, like, stole gold from every other country. Do they need more money? It is a business at this point. I mean, I don't think they should be tax exempt. Charities, are all charities tax exempt? Charities is sort of tough in general as well. Like, should all charities be tax exempt? Probably also not. I've lost a lot of faith in charities over the recent years. All right, more woke. Next conservative president must make the institutions of American civil society hard targets for woke culture wars. It's so fucking funny. It's just a new social justice warrior. Woke bureaucrats at the Pentagon force troops to attend training seminars about white privilege. Okay, hang on, what's this? What is this? What are you asking for here? Forward. The federal government is growing larger and less constitutionally accountable, even to the president every year. A combination of elected and unelected bureaucrats at the Environmental Protection Agency quietly strangles domestic energy production through difficult to understand rulemaking processes. That's probably partly true. I don't doubt that the Environmental Protection Agency, which I would think is important, has difficult to understand rulemaking processes. Bureaucrats at the Department of Homeland Security, following the lead of feckless administration, order border and immigration enforcement agencies to help migrants criminally enter our country with impunity. That is not true. Bureaucrats at the Department of Education inject racist, anti-American, ahistorical propaganda into America's classrooms. Ahistorical? But don't they, like, argue that you shouldn't teach kids about racism? Isn't that, like, part of it? Oh, search Antifa. That's a great idea. Woke bureaucrats at the Pentagon force troops to attend training seminars about white privilege. I don't have a strong opinion on that. Bureaucrats at the Department of Justice force school districts to undermine girls' sports and parents' rights to satisfy transgender extremists. What does extremist mean in that context? Don't you just mean transgender people? Why are they extreme? Stop calling everything radical and extreme. Unless you just mean really, really extreme, like transgender extremists, which like maybe I'm just not, like surely those exist. Which would mean that you'll find with most trans people, just not the extremists, whoever they are and whatever they're doing. It's the skateboards, you're right. It's the skateboards. Bureaucrats at the State Department infuse U.S. foreign aid programs with woke extremism about intersectionality and abortion. Do they? Okay. More woke, please. The Great Awakening is so metal, dude. I'm gonna start a band and call it the Great Awakening. Unaccountable federal spending is a secret lifeblood of the Great Awakening. Nearly every power center held by the left is funded or supported one way or another through the bureaucracy by Congress. Colleges and school districts are funded by tax dollars. Is this bad? Do we dislike that? Do we not like that? Schools, you think schools should not be... Okay. The administrative state holds 100% of its power at the sufferance of Congress, and its insulation from presidential discipline is an unconstitutional fairy tale spun by the Washington establishment to protect its turf. Wow. Source, please. President can use to handcuff the bureaucracy, push Congress to return its constitutional responsibility to restore power over Washington to the American people. Huh? Bring the administrative state to heel, and in the process, defang and defund the woke culture warriors who have infiltrated every last institution in America. That's also pretty fucking metal. The conservative promise lays out how to use many of these tools, including how to fire supposedly unfireable federal bureaucrats. Ooh, we don't like that. Your goal is to just fire people you don't like? How to shutter wasteful and corrupt bureaus and offices, how to muzzle woke propaganda at every level of government. Isn't that just saying how to make people we don't like shut up? Isn't that just what that is, though? Isn't that just saying at every level of government we want liberals to shut the fuck up? That feels dangerous. You maybe don't want to do that. People are allowed to think differently to you. How to restore the American people's constitutional authority over the administrative state, and how to save untold taxpayer dollars in the process. That, you know what? Less guns. Hey, buddy, I've figured it out. Less tanks. Less tanks. Maybe also less plane. Less fighter jet. I figured it out, you guys. Less fighter. Elect me. Less tank. More healthcare. Huh? Vote for me next. Less supercarrier. More dentist. More access to dentist. Maybe I am about to bust out a skateboard. Hey, free abortions for everybody so long as they buy a skateboard. The economy is going to be way better. Everybody's skating everywhere. The climate extremists, which have still technically been unidentified, are going to have a great day because there'll be less emissions. My first 3 policies in office. Less tank. More healthcare. They solve each other. You ask where the money's coming from? The money come from tank fund. We take tank fund, we make the kids gay. Oh, wait, shit, sorry. I mean healthcare and dentist. My apologies. I don't know where that came from. And then, every skateboard we sell, we also sell abortion. Very radical abortion. Hear me out? And then we make the kids gay. And that's it. Vote for me. Why this like agenda to make the kids gay? What's the benefit? Do they have, is there like, because I don't spend enough time absorbing really any media at this point, the gay agenda, do they think there's a purpose to it? Like, why do they think they want the kids to be gay? What would be the benefit to the kids being gay? Because in theory, the more gay kid, the less radical abortion. Pretend you're homophobic and ask again. Okay. What would be the most homophobic take on why they want the kids to be gay? Reduce population. Okay, it's to eliminate the straights. Why to eliminate? Why do they want to eliminate the straights? The devil? It's the devil, isn't it? So they think liberals have a gay agenda to push as much gay as possible, and not just to make gay people feel comfortable as it actually is, to make as many people gay as possible, because the devil would like it. That's got to be what it is. It's got to be a Christian thing, because otherwise, what's the benefit to just infinite gays? I feel like it has to be religion. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. Like we would like gay people to feel comfortable being gay. Makes sense. Great. We want to make everybody gay. Why? Why? It has to be the devil. Being gay is cool. Yeah, I mean, it could be population control, but I feel like population control is generally more of a conservative talking point. Because it can't be to do with the kids. It's always about the kids, but it can't be to do with the kids, because the issue is like the elites not giving a shit about consent in either direction from every side where that's concerned. Indoctrination? So you think they're like indoctrinating the kids into being gay? But again, why? Why? What would the benefit to forcing people to be gay? I don't understand. Trying to cover their own gay? We know that's fucking true from those reports about the Republican conventions. Maybe it is just Bible stuff. That's the only way I can make it make sense. More gays equals more acceptance of being gay. Over a long period of time, no one will care about gayness. Okay, yeah, the issue is the more gay people there are, the more okay it will be to be gay, which, like, if you're liberal, you'd be like, great, be whatever sexuality you want, bro. But if you are a hardcore Christian, and I know not all Christians are like that, obviously I have Christian friends who are not anti-LGBT, you want less gay because of God. I think we figured it out. And a fear of anything other and fears of communism. Fellas, is it commie to be gay? Is being gay commie? I guess it sort of is. Because you could make the argument that the more gay you are, the more communist you are. It's for everybody, bro. If you're maximum gay, then you're more for everybody. But that requires you to be as gay as possible. Like orgy gay. Then you could argue that gay is communism. But otherwise it doesn't make any sense. Stalin notoriously gay. I wouldn't fucking be surprised. I wouldn't fucking be surprised. I would not be surprised. That's the biggest thing, where most of the people who speak about LGBTQ acceptance, the calls usually come from inside the house. Almost every time. The people who yell about it, about not wanting the kids to be gay. That's all I'm saying. I did just ban the guy who was saying he missed straight Alanah. Never been straight, though. Never been straight. I don't think I was even straight as a kid. Never. Not ever happened. Welcome, Himba writes. This is Project 2025. I've searched for every time the word woke is mentioned. I've been trying to figure out why the conservatives think there's a pro-gay agenda. And I think it has to be religious based. It has to be. That's the only way I think it makes sense to me. But instead, keep it out of schools and away from kids. But kids are also gay. Like, what is the solution to, if you're showing kids straight relationships, which you are every time they watch fucking anything every 2 seconds, why should they not also see gay relationships? It's all religious. It's the only way it makes sense. If you just show them the realities of the world, what's the downside? Their entire policy agenda is just oppose liberals? Yeah, I guess. I don't think you should push sexuality on anyone, but I also don't know why anyone would do that. Doesn't make any sense to me. It has to be religion. Who knows? Yeah, people are just fucking gay. Like, there was a gay couple at my school when we were like 13. Those dudes are still gay. They're gay the whole time. The first time I dated a girl, I think I was 14. The first time I went on a date with a girl. Nothing changed. No teacher told me to be gay, but I also don't feel like it was hidden from me. Either way, like, my parents had gay friends too. Not a big deal. I don't know. Who knows? Gay agenda, still a mystery. Because there's like part of it that always gets me is this idea of the gay agenda in Hollywood. I'm sure I've said this before too. It's like there's this idea that there's this gay agenda, make all the characters fucking gay. You know that a lot of people that end up in arts just are gay, right? Like, a lot of the people who end up working in arts are the same kids that the conservatives bullied for being gay. Are you really surprised that the gay dude in your drama class who was really good at drama, who you bullied for being good at acting, turned out to work as an actor? It's not like there's an agenda. It's just, yeah, the same people you fucking picked on for being creative ended up working in creative fields and expressing themselves. They gravitate towards those fields in a lot of cases. Why are you surprised that they're there when they were always there and you always picked on them for it? You know what I mean? It's so fucking weird. Yeah, theater kids are notoriously straight. Exactly. Yeah, is it a gay agenda or do gay people just work there? Nope. Gay people just do it. And again, you picked on them for it when they were younger. How is it surprising? Gay agenda is making everyone watch Hamilton. I want you to read the next line after you talk about getting rid of guns. Oh, the next line? I don't know where I left it off. Hang on, where was my last woke mention? Washington, the American, bring administrative state to heal and the process defang and defund the woke culture warriors who have infiltrated every last institution in America. The conservative promise lays out how to use many of these tools, including how to fire. Yeah, okay, so we read all that. Woke muzzle, woke propaganda, basically make people shut up. Finding the president can restore public confidence and accountability to our most important government function of all, national defense. Oh my god. No! Alanah 2024. Less tank, more tooth. Everybody's gay. No, less tank, more healthcare. Come on. That's gonna be my whole speech. Every time that you see me at a rally, I'm not gonna run as a Democrat or a Republican. I'll be somewhere in between. I'll really take the Libertarian Party by surprise. They'll be very confused by my addition. What are you doing there? I'll be like, aren't we like anti-government having a say in shit? And they're like, what? No, just my money. Oh, less tank, but less tank. And they'll be like, well, does the government take money for tank? And I'm like, yes. You want less tank because less money? I think I can try and weed my way into the libertarians to change things. Say less tank, more dentist. That's it. That's the chant. Less tank, more tooth. And then gay kids but for no reason. For what benefit? Who knows? I don't know. Why would I make the kids gay? It doesn't make any fucking sense. Oh, God. Okay. The most important government function of all is national defense. Fairly important. Not going to deny. I'm not saying no tank, to be clear. We can still have some tank. I just maybe slightly less tank. They're so expensive. And so is tooth. But tooth, not expensive as tank on a one-to-one individual basis. We don't need that many fucking carriers. Surely. Not saying no national defense. National defense, also important. But teeth, importanter. No. National defense, more important than teeth. We spend... Have you seen how much the US spends on defense versus every other fucking country? It's fucking crazy. Like, it's like more than triple the next biggest country. It's so... Think about the amount of tooth we could have with that money. I'm just saying slightly more health, slightly less tank. Not 100% less tank. Slight increase on tank. If you take out one tank, you could probably serve million tooth. And I'm going to win in the debates because they don't fact check those. So I'll be up against Trump. And everyone will just say, she's right. She's making great points. More tooth, moderately less tank. Everybody can have tooth. Hear me out. Okay, national defense. The American people desire a full military full of highly skilled servicemen and women who... Okay, we're allowing women. That seems good. Who can protect the homeland and our interests overseas. Yes. We want that. The next conservative president must end the left's social experimentation with the military. The left's social experimentation with the military? What is the left? What? Restore warfighting as its sole mission and set defeating the threat of the Chinese Communist Party as its highest priority. Oh. Okay, I have some questions about this particular bit. The argument is more tank to defeat the Chinese Communist Party. That's like goal number one. But where does teeth come in? How could I have room for teeth without taking out the Chinese Communist Party? I wasn't expecting that. Defeating the threat of the Chinese Communist Party as its highest priority. Is this asking for a war on China? I feel like it kind of is. Is it not? Like, you are asking to just literally take down China. Maybe, okay, can we have like a middle ground, conservatives? Can we go, I make a case for taking out the Chinese Communist Party, present, your case, two at the same time. No, China is saying they will militarily take Taiwan. US wants to defend Taiwan. If that were the case, it would say defend Taiwan. It doesn't. It says defeat the threat of the Chinese Communist Party as its highest priority. Highest priority. This is what it has listed. This document thus far, we're at page 9, has listed as the number one role of the government. This is their biggest goal. Defeat woke mind virus. Stop gay. Higher than all of that. Defeat the threat of the Chinese Communist Party as its highest priority. Number one. That's what's listed. But it doesn't mention Taiwan. There's no mention of Taiwan. And I'm still not sure what the left's social experimentation with the military is. The next conservative president must possess the courage to relentlessly put the interest of everyday Americans... I should really be wearing my glasses. This is blurry. It's fine. It's fine. What if I just do this the whole time? Of everyday American over the desires of the ruling elite. Their outrage cannot be prevented. It must simply be ignored. And it can be. The left derives its power from the institutions they control, but those institutions are only powerful to the extent that constitutional offices surrender their own legitimate authority to them. A president who refuses to do so and uses his or her office to reimpose constitutional authority over federal policymaking can begin... Hang on. President who refuses to do so uses his or her office to reimpose constitutional authority over federal policymaking. That's anti-democratic. We don't want that. That's bad, actually. We actually don't want that. We don't want the president to be able to do whatever they want. They have a separate word for that, actually. Can begin to correct decades of corruption and remove thousands of bureaucrats from the positions of public trust they have so long abused. Yeah, we feel negatively about this, actually. No. Those who run our so-called American corporations have bent to the will of the woke agenda and care more for their foreign investors and organizations than their American workers and customers. It's one of them things. It's like, oh my God, what's his name? The one who's bald and uses women as sex slaves. Andrew Tate. It's like Andrew Tate. It's like every now and then he gives you a slither of something where you're like, oh, sort of right. Oh, sort of correct. And then you read the rest of the sentence and you go, oh, and women are all whores. My bad. Okay, so close though. So close, but not quite. Do I think American corporations have bent the will to the woke agenda? No. Do I think they care more for their foreign investors and organizations? In a lot of cases, yes. I do think they care a lot more about foreign investors. And funnily enough, these things contradict. American corporations bending to the woke agenda and only caring about foreign investors are contradictory things. The woke agenda is inherently extremely Western, extremely American. This is such an American conversation. I feel like globalization is like such a funny thing with social media where Americans all like really forget, myself included at this point, I'm not American, but I live here, that other countries exist. Like there's this real American-centric conversation where all conversations are all about the US at all times, and anyone speaking about anything else, it doesn't get it. It's like, you don't belong here, even though the internet is multicultural. Like, it's very American. American corporations bending will of the woke agenda and caring more for foreign investors. There are many cases in which foreign investors have required there to be less black people on screen, removed from marketing materials. These two things are contradictory. It would, in theory, be one or the other. I'm in agreement it's all about money. I do not think they care about the woke agenda. I think they care about money. I even think in a lot of cases, the companies who are pandering to the woke agenda in a way that like they legitimately sometimes are, like there are some things that I'm like, you did that because a bunch of writers in a room really felt like it was the woke thing to do, and I hate it. Like you can see that happen sometimes. It's not ever happening. It just doesn't, it's just not every time there's a black person is it woke agenda. It's just, wow, black people exist. It's so fucking stupid. But I'm sure that even in some cases, those people are also after money. A lot of it's about money, but basically the woke agenda and foreign investors oftentimes contradict. I was going to watch Acolyte just to make a YouTube video about it, but I don't want to renege on my Star Wars policy. My Star Wars policy is we will not watch or talk about Star Wars anymore because it makes me too mad and I feel like a Redditor. I yelled at the TV at the end of Book of Boba Fett. I yelled at the TV. And I was like, oh, I'm an angry Reddit boy. Oh no, what have I done? I looked at it and I went, are you fucking kidding me? So I have an anti-Star Wars policy. Anti-Disney Star Wars policy. We can talk about all the other Star Warses. No Disney Star Wars. But I really thought about it. Really, really thought about it. But I won't do it. Yeah, I know what woke means, Shraff. Oh, thank you, Jeff. Appreciate the context. Free Palpatine. Yeah, and it's funny that both social justice warrior sounds like a positive term. Like you're a warrior who just cares about justice. What are you, Batman? And that's an insult? That sounds sick. Woke just means awake and aware. It's also not an insult. Just means aware. Am I Batman? Look how much awareness I have. Oh no, look at me go, being aware of things. Oh. Andor was pretty good. I didn't finish it though, but the Star Wars policy, it's got a hold, dude. And here's the thing that I always want to say about it is just, dear God, if you don't like it, stop watching it. There's so many hate watchers for that stuff. There's so much. Just stop fucking watching it. Stop it. I did finish Shogun. I really, really enjoyed Shogun. Found the ending a little anticlimactic, but I really, really liked it. I mean, yeah, Antifa is a really good example. Antifa is bad? You think being against the fascists is bad? Implying that you like fascism? And then they go, well, no, the Antifa are the fascists. Then why did you call them the anti-fascists? Why did you do that then? If they're the ones who are actually fascist, why did you call them anti-fascists? It doesn't make sense. Gotta pick and choose. And yeah, how could anyone be against Tifa? We've established here that we're only against one of those goals, okay? And I'm taking a harder stance on it than is necessary just because it really made people fucking mad. Speaking of people being mad, it's another one that I looked at recently. You know how I said that, like, usually I don't really know when people are mad at me? I just don't really pay attention to it, and then I see it and I go, oh! I think this is really funny. Where is it? Here, okay. I had to send this to the group chat. Okay, so here's my Flanagan. Good friend. I see him every week or so. Very good friend. We talk on a near daily basis, okay? Mike Flanagan has started a new company called Red Rim Picks. Very excited. I quote tweeted Mike's announcement of Red Rim Picks just to be like super excited to see what they're working on. Look at these. That's always a great start. Visibility limited. I hope you choke, you stupid bitch. You're dead to the gaming community. Irrelevant. Okay, that's just the first one. Just excited to see what comes from Red Rim Picks. Shut up, bitch. And then this one's about grooming children. Which... What? Huh? What do you mean? I think this one's my favorite though. Which, no, I did not report it. Like, technically I could have, but... You know? I gotta keep myself on my toes. What was this for? Great question. It was me saying, V excited to see what comes out of Red Rim Picks. My friend's new production company. Am I a single mom? No, I do not have kids. So... You know, it's all, except for this one person. So I actually texted this to the group chat and was like, Mike, I'm so sorry. People love me. I don't know if you maybe look at this, there's probably some shit on here. Is anyone mad? Only Nautilus making great points. We take Tang Fund and we turn kids gay. No, this is okay so far. It will get bad though. It's fine. So far, it's fine. So far, nothing wrong. What if we look at this? Also kind of fine. I live here. I just don't really look at this stuff. But yeah, basically, they hope I choke because I said something about my friend's production company. So it's great. It's great. Why are they like that? People are upset with me all the time. It is what it is, you know? It's fine. I don't give a shit. I do usually find it funny. Okay. What are we up to now? Like the progressive Woodrow Wilson a century ago, the woke left today seeks a world bound by global treaties they write in which they exercise dictatorial powers over all nations without being subject to democratic accountability. Didn't you just say that you wanted to remove democratic accountability by making it so that the president can do whatever they want. A lot of contradictions in here. Did nobody do a contradiction edit? Left to her own devices, the American people rejected European monarchy and colonialism just as we rejected slavery. Rejected slavery, they think. Who rejected slavery specifically? The American people rejected slavery, or like a particular group of people that did that? All the American people? They just agreed, no conflict about it. It was just, everyone was like, hey, you know what? That slavery thing, bit shit. Just full agreement. There was no issues with it. Rejected slavery. Okay, yeah. Oh, that's a tough one. Okay. Second-class citizenship for women. Oh no. Also, like, rejecting slavery. The whole prison industrial complex is basically just slavery. Like, it still happens. Second-class citizenship for women. Socialism? Let's give it a chance. We never gave it a chance. Fascism, communism, and today, wokeism. I would love to see what they define wokeism as. Like, it's so tough for people to find a definition of wokeism. Yeah, they were upset about the removal of the slave owner statues. The left, they did the woke. It's true. I don't know what the woke is. All I know is the left fucking did that shit. They keep trying to do it. The left just keep doing wokes. They're making the kids gay. To the left, these assertions of patriotic self-assurance, not very patriotic to the left, are just so many signs of our moral depravity and our intellectual inferiority versus against who? Oh, European monarchy? No. Proof that, in fact, we need a ruling elite making decisions for us. Okay. I'm uncomfortable. But the next conservative president should be proud and not ashamed of Americans' unique culture of social equity and ordered liberty. What are you fucking talking about? That's woke. Social equality is woke. What do you mean? After all, the countries where Marxist elites have won political and economic power are weaker, poorer, and less free for it. Marxist elites? In which countries are there Marxist elites? Communist elites? Isn't that kind of impossible? Can you be a Marxist and an elite at the same time? Doesn't Marxism sort of prevent elites? Functionally? That's what I'm saying. Marxist elite is sort of an oxymoron. I don't think Marxist elites can exist. Like, obviously there are issues with communism. I want to be clear. Communism in practice has had some problems, everybody. Hey, everybody, listen. I don't know if you know this about communism. In practice, had some issues. But I would argue that that's actually because true communism is virtually impossible, and that is because man is too fucking selfish. True communism, functionally, I doubt will ever work because there are too many shitty humans on the planet, right? But I think in order to be Marxist, you would not be one of those shitty people. In order to be Marxist, you would not be a shitty, selfish person. In order to be Marxist, you have to functionally oppose that. I don't think Marxist elites exist. I don't think they're real. Like, there's still, it's Marxism failing. Any attempt at communism is not actual communism. That's my take. That's my take. It's not Marxist communism. Yeah, I don't think Marxist elites exist. There is communism, but you know what? As said, not really working out great. Not really working out great. The United States remains the most innovative and upwardly mobile society in the world. Okay. Government should stop trying. Government should stop trying. Government should stop trying. I don't know why that reads weird to me. It feels like it should say the government should stop trying to substitute its own preferences for those of the people. Huh? Government should stop trying to substitute its own preferences for those of the people. What? The government should just have its own preferences and not serve the people. Then what is the point of the government? What? What are you asking for? The government should stop trying to substitute its own preferences for those of the people. That is the whole purpose of the government, is to serve the needs of the people. And if not serving the needs of the people, what would the government's own preferences even be? The purpose of the governing body is to help people. What? Okay. Okay, fine. If you want to admit that, go ahead. That's not a democracy though, is it? Which I guess they're trying to argue against, because there's been like several points in here that are like, the left mob should not have a say, right? Like that's sort of half the point. They're like, if the lefty legally shouldn't speak. No, it's not worded poorly, Aristotle Limis. I was just shocked that they're trying to say that. You think it's saying the government currently substitutes its own preferences over the needs of people? No. The government should stop trying to substitute its own preferences for those of the people. This reads to me that the government should have its own preferences. Are we interpreting that in different ways? It's saying stop trying to substitute its own preferences. Stop trying to substitute its own preferences would mean do not substitute your own preferences. Stick to your own preferences instead of those of the people. That's how I'm reading it as well. It's saying regardless of what the people want, it should do what it wants. How can that be interpreted in a different way? I don't think that can be interpreted in a different way. Tanks. Yeah, you're right. More tanks. The government should stop trying to substitute its own preferences for those of the people. That means stop trying to substitute your preferences for the people's preferences. It's also, again, coming right after several pages about being sort of pro-ruler that doesn't allow dissenting opinion, which would not serve the people. Do they also... Does this document suggest that conservatives think that woke people or liberals are only bureaucrats? Like, do they think that no American citizens identify as woke? Do they think that, like, no actual human American is actually liberal, and then it's only people who are, like, bureaucrats? Right, because the Antifa. Yeah, the anti-fascists that are apparently fascist. You're aware that most conservatives don't support this document, right? We haven't gotten that far yet. We're reading the document. I will vet the document. I made no comment in either direction about conservatives as a whole. Just the people who wrote this document. I'm not actually looking at it in a broad sense. How much of this doc do I think ChatGPT wrote? None of it. I don't think that ChatGPT wrote any of this document thus far. Most liberals aren't the ones spouting off on social media. I mean, that's also true in that most liberals are not online. Like, whatever. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, more woke. It should promote, the next president should promote pro-growth economic policies that spur new jobs and investment, higher wages and productivity. We love that. Except maybe the productivity part, but the same amount of productivity, higher wages, new jobs. More teeth, less tank. Yes, that agenda should include overdue tax and regulatory reform, but it should go further and include antitrust enforcement against corporate monopolies. Every now and then. Every now and then. Every now and then. You know what I mean? All right. We can talk about that. We can have a chat about that one. I don't hate that. I'm open to it. It should promote educational opportunities outside of the woke-dominated system of public schools. Public schools are all woke. And universities, including trade schools, apprenticeship programs, and student loan alternatives that fund students' dreams instead of Marxist academics. It's also, like, very funny that Karl Marx is considered, like, the height of wokeism. Just as important as expanding opportunities for workers and small businesses, the next president should crack down on the crony capitalist corruption. Hey, let's have a chat about that. You know what? You're onto something. All right. Hey, you know what? Pride's canceled, everybody. Canceling Pride to make time to discuss this sentence. Whoa, it gets even better. Next president should crack down on the crony capitalist corruption that enables America's largest corporations to profit through political influence rather than competitive enterprise and customer satisfaction. You kind of ate. You kind of ate with that one. All right. Yes, comrade. Yeah, no, we love that. That's good stuff. It followed me the whole way. I just want a blanket because my air conditioning turned on and it got chilly. Yes, we are reading Project 2025. That is correct. This does sound pretty fucking woke to me. This, you know what? You know what, brother? That's goddamn woke. My president loves crony capitalist corruption and America's largest corporations profiting through political influence rather than competitive enterprise and customer satisfaction. You made a great point. You made a great point. It's like that Onion headline, the worst person you know is right. Love it. Analogous pro-growth reforms for America's voluntary civil society are also in order. America is not an economy, it is a country. Economic freedom is not the only important freedom. Freedom of religion, freedom of speech, and freedom to assemble also represent key components for the American promise, except if it's woke, in which case get rid of all of it. That is like, it's like brain rot to even talk about, but it's one of the arguments that drives me the most insane. Is people who claim to be pro-freedom of speech, but they're only pro-freedom of speech insofar as it is their particular brand of speech. And both sides do that. Do you actually give a shit about freedom of speech or not? What is wrong with you? America is 15 corporations in a trench coat, 100%. And you know what? Making great points. Making great points. Today, in addition to the problem of big tech censorship, what? What? Hang on, weren't you pro big tech censorship? I'm confused. in addition to the problem of big tech censorship, you wanted that. You wanted full regulation of big tech because of the children. Okay. Stop asking questions. We see speakers at universities shouted down. Freedom of speech, people are allowed to do that. Parents investigated and arrested for attempting to speak at school board meetings. Is that true? That's crazy. Arrested for speaking at school board meetings? Arrested? Though technically, those could be private, so that would technically be allowed. And donors to conservative causes harassed and intimidated. That's not good. Sort of. Depend. How extreme is it? Are they being arrested? Because like people, what do you mean by harassed? When you say harassed, what do you mean there? Intimidated? Yeah, I need more definitions of those words. People are allowed to also feel negatively about your donors to conservative causes. The next conservative president must defend our First Amendment rights. Great. Woke tech censorship, but they want tech censorship. I'm confused. It doesn't make sense. Which one do you want? This book, this agenda, this entire Project 2025 is a plan to unite the conservative movement and the American people against elite rule and woke culture warriors. It's so fucking funny that really that's the thing you're most afraid of, is people who like inclusion. Crazy. Our movement has not been united in recent years, and our country has paid the price in the past decade. We are referring to tech companies censoring their users. Right, but there's also a previous piece of this document where they were talking about wanting to have full control of the tech companies. So, like, I assumed what they were referring to was tech companies who were censoring conservatives. But they're also arguing to censor all of the big tech companies, which would be the same thing regardless of which way it falls, right? It would be either way. You go both ways. Sorry, what was I up to? Every hour, the left directs federal policy and elite institutions. Our sovereignty, our constitution, our family, and our freedom are a step closer to disappearing. Every hour, the left directs federal policy. You think that the left wants to get rid of the Constitution? I love the Great Awakening. It's so fucking funny. In the past decade, though, the breakdown of family, the rise of China, the Great Awakening, yeah, they're really anti-China. Huh. Big tech's abuses, levels of erosion of constitutional accountability in Washington have rendered these divisions not just inconvenient, but politically suicidal. Damn. Step number 1, destroy China. Oh. Why did you source Reagan? Tech executives who raise their kids tech-free or seriously limit their screen time. It's really funny. That's something that they actually sourced. I would totally do that to my kid. Do it to myself. Woke public diplomacy undermines the State Department's core missions and weakens U.S. foreign policy. So that's interesting. They have sources, which there is a bibliography, which would imply that anything that isn't sourced, I would question. Why do you not have a source for this? Anything that you claim, if you have a bibliography, why is it not sourced? This whole document is basically garbage. If you're going to use the bibliography, use the bibliography. You know what I mean? Okay. Okay, America's bicentennial, which culminated on July 4, 1976, was a spirited and unifying celebration of our country, its founding, and its ideals. Hey, do you remember when we voluntarily gave up slavery? When everybody just kind of agreed on it? Do you remember when they wrote that in the document? That American people rejected slavery? Do you remember that? That's the thing they wrote. As we approach our nation's 250th anniversary, which will take place during the next presidency, wow, that's crazy. America is now divided between two opposing forces, woke revolutionaries, and those who believe in the ideals of the American Revolution. Couldn't, in that context, the American Revolution be the woke American Revolution if you call them revolutionaries? All right. The former believe that America is and always has been systemically racist, and that it is not worth celebrating and must be fundamentally transformed, largely through a centralized administrative state. Sort of. The latter believes in America's history and heroes. Okay. Again. Believe in America's history. America's done some good stuff. America's done some great shit. Believe in America's history is not really something I like the sounds of, though. America's done good stuff. Remember the Nazis? Got rid of those. That was sick. That was top 10 America moments. That was a fucking awesome thing that America did. Huge fan of getting rid of the Nazis. Believe in America's history, a little more complicated. All of it? Or is this like a not all men situation where I shouldn't assume you mean all of it? Its principles and promise and in everyday Americans and American way of life. They believe in the Constitution and Republican government. Conservatives, the Americanists in this battle. Americanists must fight for the soul of America, which is very much at stake. Not real, though. Not real. They've mentioned soul quite a bit throughout this. Just 2 years after the death of the last surviving Constitutional Convention delegate, James Madison, Abraham Lincoln warned that the greatest threat to America would not come from without, but from within. This is evident today. Whether it be masks and vaccine mandates, that's so funny. I actually don't think people should be forcibly vaccinated. I think that if you don't want to be, forcing someone to be vaccinated is pretty wild. I don't know if that's a conservative take. I think that it should be encouraged and information should be encouraged, but I feel like forcing somebody to take a needle, that seems pretty wild to me. The mask is, you think is the greatest threat? That's where you start? The greatest threat to America is masks? That's the worst thing to happen to anybody? Oh, hello, Lawrence. Thanks for the raid. We're very political today. We're talking about Project 2025. I'm searching every time the word woke is used. We did do abortion, but it was like 300 mentions or something. It was 199 or some shit. And I've heard that apparently the biggest threat to America right now is masks. But also school and business closures. But aren't they arguing to get rid of all of the liberal schools? What do you want? Efforts to keep Americans from driving gas cars or using gas stoves. But my gas! Or efforts to defund the police, indoctrinate school children, alter beloved books. Again, aren't you getting rid of books? Abridge free speech, undermine the colorblind ideal, or deny the biological reality that there are only two sexes. Jesus Christ. The left's steady stream of insanity appears to be never ending. These are what you consider to be the greatest threat to America outside of communist China? Because the two sexes thing, I really feel like there's like a lot of confusion with the discourse about the difference between sex and gender and how, by definition, they are not the same thing. It's fine. The next administration must stand up for American ideals, American families, and American culture, all things which, thankfully, most Americans still believe. It's so manipulatively written. Highlighting this need, former director of the Office of Management and Budget Russ Vought writes in Chapter 2, the modern conservative president's task is to limit, control, and direct the executive branch on behalf of the American people. It's just a lot of that. It's really just a lot of that. It's just a lot of that. A lot of not actually serving the people. Okay, more about wokeism. Great, we love that. While other chapters will cover specific policy goals for each department or agency, incoming policy councils will need to move rapidly to lead policy processes around cross-cutting agency topics, including countering China, enforcing immigration laws, reversing regulatory policies in order to promote energy production, combating the left's aggressive attacks on life and religious liberty. Huh? Conservative Supreme Court recently gave unprecedented immunity to the president. How is that limiting executive power? That's basically this like document repeatedly calls for executive power. Like over and over and over again. Yeah, is the left against religious liberty? In any way? Is any Democrat against religious liberty? Anywhere? Is that a thing anyone has ever asked for? And confronting wokeism throughout the federal government. So, hang on. rapidly lead to policy processes. They really care about China. Really big into China. Enforcing immigration laws. Those are already enforced. Reversing regulatory policies in order to promote energy production. Combating the left's aggressive attacks on life. That's just referring to abortion. Religious liberty. Again, and is that a thing? No, I'm not reading the whole document. No, we've read a fair bit of it though, but I'm just reading every time the word woke is in there. Confronting wokeism throughout the international, whatever. Yeah, sure. Sadly, however, a president today assumes office to find a sprawling federal bureaucracy that all too often is carrying out its own policy plans and preferences, or worse yet, the policy plans and preferences of a radical, supposedly woke faction of the country. That is devastating. This office should be engaged early and often in OMB's effort to drive policy, including by obtaining transparency about entities that are awarded federal contracts and grants, and by using government contracts to push against woke policies in corporate America. Again, they never actually identify what woke means at any point. I would love to know what woke means. What do you think woke means? Like, they've told us some things that they consider to be woke, which is gay kids. It's gay kids. It's anti-racism. What else have they mentioned as being woke? I think it is just everything they don't like. I'm not sure if they can define it. Oh yeah, the radical abortions. Trans people. Radical abortion they keep mentioning. And climate extremists. People who are really extreme about caring about the climate. That's so woke, dude. That's woke as shit. Some good points in here, though. Hey, I do think that we should watch out for monopolies. As with other federal departments and agencies, the Biden administration's leveraging of the federal government's resources to further the woke agenda should be reversed. How did he do that? And scrubbed from all policy manuals, guidance documents, and agendas, and scientific excellence and innovation should be restored. Hey. We like that too. We like science. We like scientific excellence for sure. Actually really like science. Pro-science. Affordable student loan payments is woke? No, it would be like the fact that that even has to be considered woke is the saddest part, because free education would be woke. Yeah, we all like science. We like science. Science is good. We agree on that. Let's have a chat about it. I fuck with science for sure, dude. I'd like to hear what science has to say about it. Huge fan. The ONDCP administers 2 grant programs, the Drug-Free Community Support Program and the High-Intensity Drug Trafficking Areas Program. While it makes sense to transfer these programs eventually to the Department of Justice and Department of Health and Human Services, respectively, it is vital that the ONDCP direct to ensure in the immediate term that these grant programs are funding the president's drug control priorities and not woke nonprofits with leftist policy agendas. Every time I'm so confused. Okay, maybe I'm stupid. I am blonde. It sounds like you want to... $41 billion. Wow, that's a lot. Whereas the position for overseeing budget activities is traditionally held by a career official. Okay, there's drug stuff going on, you guys. This drug stuff on page 61. Page 61, all about drugs. The next president's top drug policy priority must be to address current fentanyl crisis and reduce the number of overdoses and fatalities. Hey. I mean, all right. Okay. I'll hear you out. I'd like to hear what you have to say. The next president's top drug policy priority must be to address the current fentanyl crisis and reduce the number of overdoses and fatalities. All right. Sounds good. Let's chat about that. The next administration must reaffirm a commitment to preventing drug use before it starts, providing treatment that leads to long-term recovery and reducing the availability of illicit drugs in the United States. Okay. The drug trafficking environment is exponentially more dynamic and dangerous today than it was 5 years ago, as powerful synthetic opioids, fentanyl, and its analogs are mixed into other drugs of abuse. Okay. Drug trafficking organizations are extremely nimble and able to adapt quickly to federal government actions and changes in user behavior. Disrupting the flow of drugs across our borders and into our communities is paramount importance. Fine. How did the wokies get involved in this? How did you say fentanyl crisis bad? We agree. Woke policies fucked it up. Where was the jump? ONDCP grant-making activities have been controversial over the years, particularly within conservative administrations concerned that the White House lacks the expertise to oversee such programs directly. That is probably true. The ONDCP administers 2 grant programs. Okay, so it's saying they want to get rid of both of these and make them just Department of Justice. But isn't this the same? Again, I'm losing my fucking mind. Isn't this the same document that tried to argue a second ago for less government control? I think it's not doing that, actually. It's just occasionally referencing that to sound cute, but it is mostly saying that the government should, or the president should have extreme control, and that the government should serve the president and not the people. I think that is explicitly what it's saying. The Drug-Free Community Support Program and High-Intensity Drug Trafficking Areas Program, it wants to get rid of these because they're woke. They're woke nonprofits with leftist policy agendas. Do they think that leftists are pro-fentanyl? Do they think the wokies like fentanyl? Woke warriors pro-fentanyl? Okay. What leftist policy agenda here? Woke nonprofits with leftist policy agenda. How does that relate to drugs? They think that we're pro over fentanyl deaths. Immigrants. You're right. The answer is immigrants. I'm asking too many questions. The answer is immigrants and gay. When I get cancelled and become Alice Pearson, if I ever have to debate anybody, I'm just going to call them gay. Again, you've heard it here first. You have my promise. Plastic surgery, a bunch of Botox. I'll get fillers. I'll do all the shit that people do in their 30s that makes them look really ancient when they're rich. I'll do all of it. Make me look older, though. We decided not to do huge fake titties. I'm going to get a BB elbow. But I'll deny that I did it. And if I ever get in a debate, I will say woke and gay. Case in point. Woke and gay. Woke mind virus. Gay. Gay kids. Try me, bitch. Anybody I debate, I just call them gay. And no one's... What are they going to say back? Woke gay fentanyl kids, you're right. Woke gay fentanyl kids. Fuck your teeth. Many such cases. I can't do Trump. I can't. How do Americans say they can't? I can't do it. I can do Obama, but I can't do Trump. I think I maybe need to listen to him more. America. I can't. It's just that. But when I do President Obama, he speaks in a very specific octave, and his cadence is fairly easy to mimic. The president must ensure that the ONDCP is managed by political appointees who are committed to the administration's agenda and not acquiesce to management by political or career military personnel who oversaw the prior administration, ONDCP, because it's woke. It's woke and gay, and the woke gays love fentanyl. The woke gays love the fentanyl crisis. They're extremely pro people dying from fentanyl mixed into street drugs. That's woke and gay. We gotta get rid of it. We gotta move those policies back to the Justice Department, Department of Justice. So the immigrants could stop turning the kids gay and killing all the gay kids with fentanyl. If I see another rainbow, I swear to God, okay? I swear. And China, hear me out. China. There's a lot about China. My number one goal, get rid of it. The Marxist elites, it may sound like an oxymoron to you, but it's not. Not sure what it means, except gay. Gay and woke, fentanyl, immigrants, transgender. Thank you. And that's how I'll debate everybody. Gay woke fentanyl. Should I make merch that just says gay woke fentanyl on it? I mean, but it's like, it looks like it says make America great again, but it just says gay and woke and fentanyl. No, I shouldn't do that. You think it's a bad idea? You think I shouldn't? Are you sure? We love gay woke fentanyl. The only kind of fentanyl that I want to take is the gay woke kind, personally. Make the gay kids take fentanyl. Hey, hear me out. Maybe the problem is the gay kids keep taking on the fentanyl. I'm very unclear on problems with this. It seems the part I disagree with, but I do not know enough about drugs in the US to really have any comment, is that they seem to want to take the administrations that know shit about drugs and absolve them because they're woke and gay and fold them into the Department of Justice. That's the intent. Ooh, gender policy. Excited. Excited about this one, lads. Excited about this. The president should immediately revoke Executive Order 1420 in every policy. I think I actually read part of this already, including sub-regulatory guidance documents produced on behalf of or related to the establishment or promotion of the Gender Policy Council and its subsidiary issues. Abolishing the Gender Policy Council would eliminate central promotion of abortion, comprehensive sexuality. We do want to get rid of that. That's it. Hang on. You want to get rid of sexual education? Why is that under education? Education. Oh. Hey, thank you, Dookie Mookie. I mean, I haven't streamed that much, so, you know, you might have celebrated that like 2 streams ago. Yeah, I think maybe education is what's making the kids gay fentanyl addicts. And the new woke gender ideology, which has a principal tenet, gender-affirming care and sex change surgeries on minors. Are you... Oh, this is such fear-mongering. In addition to eliminating the council, developing new structures and positions will have the dual effect of demonstrating that promoting life and strengthening the family is a priority while also facilitating more seamless coordination and consistency across the US government. Specifically, the president should appoint a position/point of contact with the rank of special assistant to the president or higher to coordinate and lead the president's domestic priorities on issues related to life and family in cooperation with the Domestic Policy Council. This position would be responsible for facilitating meetings, discussions, and agreements among personnel, coordinating administration. That's okay. You didn't say much. You basically just said woke and gay. Shut up. That's all. It's a lot of this document. Woke gay kids. Woke and gay. And fentanyl. Oh, I love it. Every time. What is this overview of? This is the whole... Oh, of Homeland Security. Department of Homeland Security was created in the aftermath of terror... I didn't actually know that. The Department of Homeland Security was only created after September 11. I did not know that. How old was I? I don't know. I was like 6 or whatever. And subsequent mailings of anthrax spores, which is pretty fucked up. The Homeland Security Act of 2002, which created the department, states that the DHS primary mission is to prevent terrorist attacks within the U.S., reduce the nation's vulnerability to terrorism, minimize the damage from and assist in the recovery from any terrorist attack, prepare and respond to natural and man-made crises and emergencies, and monitor connections between illegal drug trafficking and terrorism, coordinate efforts to sever such connections, and interdict illegal drug trafficking. Okay. Unfortunately for our nation, the federal government's newest department became like every other federal agency, bloated, bureaucratic, and expensive. Kind of ate with that one too. Don't fundamentally disagree with that. They probably are all pretty bloated, bureaucratic, and expensive. And maybe the money could be going to the people more than the departments. All right. They don't mean social programs, no, because they're referring to the Department of Homeland Security. They don't mean social programs. It also lost sight of its mission priorities. DHS has also suffered from the left's wokeness and weaponization against Americans with whom the left perceives as political opponents. Got it. How has the DHS suffered from the left's wokeness? Unsure. To truly secure the homeland, a conservative administration needs to return the department to the right mission, the right size, and the right budget. Again, don't hate that. Don't hate making some changes to DHS. This would include reorganizing the department and shifting significant resources away from several supporting components to the essential operational components. Don't hate this either. Prioritizing border security and immigration enforcement, including detention and deportation, is critical if we are to regain control of the border, repair the historic damage done by Biden. He was asleep the whole time. He basically didn't do anything. He just took an extended nap and played golf. Historic damage? I mean, technically it's historic anytime anyone's president does anything, right? You can ask anything is historic. Returning to a lawful and orderly immigration system, which we also kind of all agree on. People do want lawful immigration. I think asylum seekers, the solve is, as somebody who has immigrated into this country recently, it's really fucking hard. It's really, really, really fucking hard. And it's like, I fucked it up once by having a piece of paper that was supposed to extend my visa, but it wasn't in my passport because that's what the lawyer told me. And so technically I fucked up one time. And the other time, DHS fucked up by writing on my green card that I was a male, not a female. And now every single time that I go through border control, they have to ask me why I had my green card reprinted. Why did you have a reprint of your green card? And I have to say, they accidentally wrote that I was a male on my fucking green card. It's so difficult. And so, like, do we want people to lawfully immigrate? Yes. The issue is how prohibitive that is. Especially for asylum seekers. It's so fucking difficult to lawfully immigrate. It's real tough. Orderly immigration, and it's very difficult to fucking control. Yeah, I definitely just ran across the border and now I've voted for Biden. Did it. Right there with it. No, I did not. It's really difficult. Yeah, the US government, this is the story that I think should get out, everybody. The US government tried to force me to have gender reassignment surgery, which probably would have been easier for me, life-wise, than getting the green card reprinted and all of the shit that came with that. Technically, DHS tried to make me transition. They wrote it on there. That's what they asked for. Out and about, they tried to do it. And they took my teeth. And now I have no teeth. 12 dentists! They wanted a son. Yeah, and then they gave me fentanyl and now work and gay. Work and gay. Yeah, it's true. And bad teeth. I really do need a fucking dentist. I called so many of them and then I gave up. I'm not sunburnt. I look this way because I adjusted the white balance when it was still daylight. Because I'm also aware that I look very pink. And have not readjusted it since it is now dark outside. Basically, the sunset happened during the stream, and so it's still... the white balance is just making my face look really red. It happens. Not sunburn. So it is what it is. Did they test me, give me football, ask what I think about WE? I'm technically only a green card holder. You get the test when you become a citizen. I'm not a citizen. I don't auto white balance because my hair fucks it up. Because my hair is white. If I auto white balance, it will make my hair... my hair is not pure white, so it will make the rest of me look insane because basically it's very difficult to white balance hair. Or to white balance somebody with white hair. It just doesn't like it. So I manually do it, but I haven't redone it since the sun went down and now I look pink. And woke and gay. Yeah. Cut the fat off DHS. Don't hate it. This would include reorganizing the department and shifting significant resources away from several supporting components to the essential operational components, prioritizing border security and immigration enforcement, including detention and deportation. I mean, the detentions are fucking nasty, but I would like to prioritize them so we can keep people out of them. Like, the shit that goes on in those fucking detentions is horrible. Oh, okay, sorry, we read about that because Biden, like, did historic damage. Also includes consolidating the pieces of fragmented immigration systems into one agency to fulfill the mission more efficiently. The Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, is a DHS component that the left has weaponized to censor speech and affect elections at the expense of securing the cyber domain and critical infrastructure which are threatened daily. Technically, they have a source for that. I would like to see it. Where is the bibliography for the DHS? Oh my god, the DHS one's so long. Oh my god. Ooh. Actually, let me... hang on. Can I see if I'm going to get kicked out? Green card. No green card mentioned? Huh. A permanent resident? No mention of green cards. Okay. Hey, I'm allowed. Too bad woke and gay. Lost where I was. Oh, shit. We got to DHS, mention of woke. Been past that. Yeah. It's around here somewhere, right? Yeah. Left wokeness. Was there anything else in here? I didn't buy that, but it's fine. The left, I don't know, destroyed cybersecurity or something. They made cybersecurity gay, I think. Try immigrant? I mean, that'll be so broad, though. It's what's used to find people that make threats online. Oh, good to know. I mean, that probably is, like, very specific to just the government, right? They don't give a shit about most threats. Thank you, self-abandoning. It is, in fact, a document reading stream, yeah. Is your own PC a gay woke now? Only if it's done fentanyl. Only if it's tried fentanyl. The word woke appears 35 times in the document. We are currently up to 24. Okay. We're still on Homeland Security, which is very long. USCG is facing recruitment challenges similar to those faced by the military services. The administration should stop messaging on wokeness and diversity and focus instead on attracting the best talent for the USCG, I would think that is what they're doing. Mentioning diversity attracts more talent. Less people are signing to the military than almost ever before. Diversity actually helps with recruiting. It's actually quite helpful. Because then more people will join. That's kind of how recruiting works. Simultaneously consistent with the Department of Defense, USCG should also make a serious effort to revet any promotions and hiring that occurred on the Biden administration's watch, while also re-onboarding the USCG personnel who were dismissed from service for refusing to take COVID-19 vaccine, with time and service credited to such returnees. Those two steps could be foundational for any improvements in the recruiting process. All right, fine. Finally, future IC leadership must address the... Oh, hang on. This is intelligence? Intelligence community. Or a whole new subgenre now. What do you care about intelligence? Mission statement: to arm a future incoming conservative president with the knowledge and tools necessary to fortify the United States intelligence community, to defend against all foreign enemies, and ensure the security and prosperity of our sovereign nation, devoid of all political motivations, and to maintain constitutional civil liberties. Sounds gay to me. That sounds gay as shit. My microphone is an Elgato Wave 3. I am having some trouble with the sensitivity, but I'm glad it sounds crisp. Okay, where did it say woke? There's a lot going on in this part. International development. Hang on, that's too far, isn't it? IC leadership must address the widely promoted woke culture that is spread through federal government with identity politics and social justice. Again, it's so funny to call that a negative. Advocacy replacing such traditional American values as patriotism, colorblindness, and even workplace competence. The libs hate workplace competence. If you say so. We really missed that whole document, that whole section. We really, whatever, I don't give a shit. We're getting through it. There's so many mentions of woke. It's not that many considering the length of the document. Localization is a buzzword within the aid community, but correctly assumes that more funding through local organizations produces better aid outcomes. Shifting from giant US-based implementers has often proven difficult to achieve, however, given intense internal bureaucratic resistance, opposition from the aid industrial complex, and foot-dragging from progressives who view local NGOs, especially faith-based NGOs, prominent in Africa. Oh yeah, we already read that one. They really love Africa. Really love Africa. Huge Africa fans. Good night, Benobs. And yes, we are talking about Project 2025. What's my take on it so far? Look, I'm barely reading it. It seems to me that of the bits of the snippets that I have read, that the things that stand out are that it aims to prevent Democrats from speaking. That that it has a goal to make it so that the government speaks for the government and less for the people, as they said, that they don't know what woke means, and that it hopes to make it so Democrats do not exist anywhere. Stay woke. The president's emergency plan for AIDS relief. What? Hang on, let's go back to localization. How did we get to AIDS? Localization is a buzzword within the aid community, but correctly assumes that more funding through local organizations produces better aid outcomes. Shifting from giant US-based implementers has proved difficult to achieve, however, given intense internal bureaucratic resistance, opposition from the aid industrial complex, and foot-dragging from progressives who view local NGOs, especially faith-based... Oh yeah, no, sorry, we did read that. Okay, I didn't read that, whatever. The president's emergency plan for AIDS relief, PEPFAR, has shown that localization at scale is possible within a short span of time. Over the 4 years of the Trump administration, the multi-billion-dollar program increased the amount of funding dispersed to local entities from about 25% to nearly 70% with... Okay, whatever. I don't... If you say so. Mandate for leadership. The conservative promise. The incestuous relationship between the NIH, CDC, and vaccine makers, they're still really going hard on vax, with all the conflict of interest it entails, cannot be allowed to continue, and the revolving door between them must be locked. You know, I don't fundamentally disagree with that either. I do think there are a lot of medical companies that benefited tremendously from vaccines. I don't know about their relationship, really. The CDC giving me information on vaccines makes perfect sense. But if they have some kind of, again, no source, if they have some kind of monetary relationship, I would consider that to be an ethical issue. Such autism, that's a good idea. You guys, when I'm finished with the woke search, which we're getting there, give me a bunch of words to search and we'll go through them a little faster. Savino writes, funding for scientific research should not be controlled by a small group of highly paid and unaccountable insiders at the NIH, many of whom stay in power for decades. The NIH monopoly on directing research should be broken. What's more, NIH has long been at the forefront of pushing gender science. This is just saying we don't like your scientists, really, I think. The next HHS secretary should immediately put an end to the department's foray into woke transgender activism. Shut the fuck up. Transgender activists. There's so many provable cases of you saying these people shouldn't exist. You don't even want them to serve. That you don't think they need activism. I don't fucking get it. I don't fucking get it. Just fucking let trans people live. It's crazy. In contrast to DOJ's long history, the Department of Education Department, or ED, discussed by Lindsay Burke in Chapter 11, is a creation of Jimmy Carter administration, Department of Convenient One-Stop Shop for the Woke Education Cartel. The Woke Education Cartel! That's sick too. Great band names here. Which, as the COVID era showed, is not particularly concerned with children's education. Huh? Because they made kids stay home from schools? But they still had to learn. Work education cartel hates the kids learning. The woke education cartel is not particularly concerned with children's education. Okay. All right. Schools should be responsive to parents. What horrifies me most is this is written by a PhD. It's not badly written. Like, I saw some people say that in chat. This is not badly written. It's terribly poorly sourced. Like, with something like this, I would have a source for fucking everything. So elsewhere, DOJ should target... No, you can't have it in should. It should be... This should have a source. You should have, as the COVID era showed, sources. It's not poorly written sentence by sentence. It is functionally written, but really, really, really badly sourced. Sources are woke, that's true, because that would be part of the woke education cartel. Only the woke education cartel asks for sources. Schools should be responsive to parents rather than leftist advocates intent on indoctrination. Shut the fuck up. And the more the federal government is involved in education, the less responsive to parents the public schools will be. Wait, you want less federal government involvement in education? The schools should be responsive to parents rather than to leftist advocates intent on indoctrination. I think schools should be responsive to children, but okay. And the more federal government is involved in education, the less responsive to parents. Okay, so you want less government control in education? Okay, interesting take. Surprised by that. They just want to get rid of the Department of Education as a whole? The department is an example of federal intrusion. Wow, yeah, they do. Into a traditionally state and local realm. The suggestion is to get rid of federal control of schools and replace it with state level. This is Project 25, yeah. Okay. I don't have enough knowledge to say whether state-run schools is bad. But still government. For the sake of American children, Congress should shutter it and return control of education to the states. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying I think that's good or bad. I just do not have enough knowledge on whether that would be good or bad. I just don't know. Maybe children don't actually exist and are just woke gay agenda. Great point. You missed fentanyl, though. So they can inject religion and censor subjects. True. True. I don't know. Well, we don't want it all to be privatized because nobody can fucking afford it as is. Florida education has banned all LGBT mention and that slavery is indentured servitude. Are you serious? It's surprising to me then, though, that they would not want to have federal control to get rid of the woke agenda. Or have they basically like decided that education conceptually is always going to be woke and thus you have to shut down the Department of Education? Because if yes, if you think that the Department of Education is synonymous with woke, huge dub, huge compliment, huge win, liberals. All education is woke. Thank you. Hey, we appreciate that. That's a ball. You think everyone who gets into education is woke on the federal level? Well, no, it would have to be. In theory, they think the states won't, but the federal government will. Yeah, no, still seems like you feel high. To me, that reflects positively on the wokies. Usually educated people are a bit woke. This is true. State rights are a way to make that agenda easy to implement and control. Are they? Again, I'm not arguing against this. This is just one of those things that I just don't have enough. I don't really have an opinion on because I don't really functionally know what the difference would be. I just want what is best for the kids, and I don't know if that's federal or state. I don't know. They want to take money from public education and subsidize private Christian schools. That is bad. That's bad. That would be bad. I just haven't seen it mentioned, but it's a big fucking document. What they want is not better for society. I don't get the impression they want too much that's better for society from the way this is laid out. They just want conservative. God, teachers are treated so fucking poorly in the US. It's crazy. It's so nuts. Just like unbelievable. Short of this, the Secretary of Education should insist the department serve parents and American ideals, not advocates whose messages that children can choose their own sex and that America is systemically racist. The systemic racism thing is a really interesting one to me. It's a really interesting thing to so staunchly want to deny because it's such a basic principle that is backed by statistics. Systemic racism just means that the systems statistically do a bad job at serving people of color. And again, that it's a tough, why should children not be taught that? And how do you deny it? I think maybe people deny the systemic racism thing because they just feel like, hey, I'm not a fucking racist. It's just like they feel offended. At least they agree racism is bad, in theory. You think America is racist just against white? Well, that's certainly true. But I think racism ended because Obama got elected. You believe calling out racism is bad? Maybe that is it. Maybe it's so Ouroboros of racism that they're like, yeah, well, maybe the racism is there because the people who are being racist against deserve it. It's Ouroboros of racism. They think that the statistics are deserved. Maybe. I'm not really sure. It's a really good point, butt juice. I actually haven't seen gamers mentioned once in here. So I will search gamers once we've gotten through that too. Did I see the Sonia Massey body cam footage? No, I don't even know what you're talking about. I miss a lot of shit recently. That math itself is racist? Well, okay, I don't know about that one, Chief. Is that a thing the libs are saying? That maths is racist? That's a tough claim. Math is racist. Math is racist. Is math racist? I have questions. Yes, I have questions. Math is racist crowd runs rampant in Seattle, Portland opinion. Get out of here. Okay, judging by East Coast liberals' attacks on Florida Governor Ron DeSantis for fighting against woke math textbooks. Math is woke and racist? You'd think the battle is a new one, but the math war has been... Get out of here. Fuck off. Absolutely not. Math war has been raging for years on the West Coast, where progressives have almost total control over school curricula. The governor's critics were skeptical, arguing this move is a little more contrived than political theater. Just tell me about how math is racist. DeSantis pointed to some specific examples of critical race theory inspired teaching materials, not as simple as pointing math problems in a textbook. CRT is a lens that tints every subject. Seattle schools introduced the CRT lens into math classes through the district's ethnic studies department. How is this telling me that math is racist? K-12 release guidelines. Introduce the CRT lens into math classes. Seattle math teacher Shraddha Shirud is a believer using ethnic studies in her high school course, Mathematics for Liberation, to tell students that the subject is used to oppress people. What? She says that enjoying teaching through ethnic studies lens because it dismantles the toxic white culture of math classes. I am confused about this. I am confused. The libs are saying that math is racist? When we're only teaching them that one master narrative, that's the master narrative that is around in society too, because they grow up and then they teach their kids that, and that's how they approach the world, that's how they engage with other people, that's how they see as normal. I'm confused. Great. Ugh. Seattle schools incorporate ethnic studies into math class. I'm not inherently against that. When a set of guidelines incorporating ethnic studies in K-12 math classes went public last week, several online blogs criticized Seattle public schools for bringing race into subjects like addition and subtraction. Math, in case you didn't already know, is racist. Oh, so the source of that is a conservative website? The whole source of math being racist is the Daily Wire? They're just linking to each other calling math racist? It's the Ouroboros of racism again. It's another ACAB moment where black lady calls cops because she thinks someone is trying to break in a house. Somehow cops end up Really? Recently? Again? Jesus. The framework lays out structure of learning themes like origins, identity, and agency and power and oppression, which are meant to be taught side by side in math class. I don't trust this. You have no sources. Sample questions: who holds power in a mathematical classroom, and what is my mathematical identity? That's pretty weird. These questions are heavy ones and begs to be asked. I mean, kids should be able to discuss this kind of shit, but I don't know what that means. Is math class the setting for these discussions? The architect behind the program says yes. The goal is to disrupt the status quo and do something different. Not against that, said Tracy Castro-Gill, the ethnic studies program manager at Seattle Public Schools. Castro-Gill says that their research shows a disparity in the district between white students and students of color. Graduation rates and test scores are lower among students of color. Data is clear, we're not serving our district students of color. Yep, she seems right there. I've also never heard of any of this stuff before. This is all new to me. I don't know what any of this stuff is. The idea is to bring more historical examples of different ethnicities to the table to talk about issues facing different groups of people in the country. None of this really says math is racist. Castro-Gill said the math framework is not hard law on how classes should be taught, but more of a guideline to encourage teachers to have these conversations in the classroom. I think I'm okay with that. Like, if her intention is to just bring up difficult conversations across a span of different types of classes, fine. In 2017, Seattle Public Schools began to consider adding ethnic studies to its K-12 curriculum. This according, still haven't found anyone saying math is racist. Math might be gay. Math may be gay. So it didn't have any... I didn't search very hard. Liberals have... Some very liberal people have said some really stupid shit. It's not like every liberal is right about things. If someone said math itself is racist, I couldn't easily find a source. It may have happened. I've never fucking heard of that. And I would like a source. Project 2025. There were textbooks in Florida that used things like racial makeup, the NYPD versus the makeup of New York City to show things like statistical deviation. Fine with it. Martin Luther King's ideal of colorblind society should be rejected in favor of reinstating a color-conscious society. The next head of this department will have a lot to do, hopefully culminating in the department's closure of salutary restoration of educational control of states, localities, and parents. We're getting it. I just only 5 more. I'm dying. My brain can't handle it. How does Hassan do this all day? All day? He's just politics for a whole day? It's been 3 hours. Yeah, he does make a lot of money. It's a good point. All day? Jesus Christ. Oh my god, okay. Rather than continuing to buttress a higher... education establishment captured by the woke diversicrats. Also cool. Sick band name. And a de facto monopoly enforced by the federal accreditation cartel. Federal post-secondary education policy should prepare students for jobs in the dynamic economy, nurture institution diversity, and expose schools to greater market forces. Hang on, is this bad? Should we rebalance the focus far more on bolstering the workforce skills of Americans who have no interest in pursuing 4-year academic... I agree with that. That people who don't want to have an academic degree should be far more catered to in the education system. Sounds great. I'm not putting up enough chatters message histories to yell at them. Yeah, that would help. I gotta yell at people more. But shut up, chat. Hey, shut the fuck up. Gay woke fentanyl. Hey, don't you talk to me about Nintendo. We're talking about politics right now. You shut up. You all OD on fentanyl. You fucks. Call us brain dead. You're fucking brain dead, okay? Okay? You're fucking brain dead, okay? You came at a great time. What a show. Hi, welcome everybody. I'm reading Project 2025 and insulting my chat. Hey, woke and gay. All of you. Woke and gay. Brain dead. Shut up. So, what are you gonna do about that? You know what? I do feel better. It did help. Calling my chat woke and gay did help. It did feel better. I feel way better about myself now. Everybody shut up. Thanks, Susie. There's so many of you for me to insult now. Shut up. Woke and gay. All of you are woke and gay. All right? I'm yelling at my chat because I've been talking about politics for 2 hours and I'm saying I don't know how Hassan does it. And so my chat told me that I need to insult them more. And so I'm trying, and the only insults that I can muster are woke and gay. And fentanyl. Something about the fentanyl crisis. But actually we found a part of Project 2025 that we agree with, which happens every, like, maybe 100 pages, is that the education system should bolster the workforce skills of Americans who have no interest in pursuing a 4-year academic degree. I agree. But also woke and gay. Only if the workforce skills are gay. The children on the streets, all gay, all of them. I've never seen more gay kids in my life. They're all gay, okay? Comrades, all of them, okay? They're all just making out with each other, gay. I think I got it down. I'm gonna run. I'm running for president. All gay comrades, the lot of them, top to bottom. No, we agree with this though. We're on board with this here. We agree that I would like the education system to be more applicable to people who do not want to study a degree. And I do think that the current education system in America that is focused on making people pursue a 4-year academic degree is inherently capitalist. We agree. Okay. People shouldn't have to get into debt to go to school for 4 years. I can't do Trump. I can't do it. I don't know why I keep trying. I cannot do it. The face, I think, is the best part. You get what I mean. Woke gay kids going to school. Okay, they're all gay. We agree. Every now and then I find a thing I like. You know what? All right, comrade. Federal post-secondary policy should be more than massive and inefficient and open-ended subsidies to traditional colleges and universities. Yep. It should be rebalanced to focus far more on bolstering the workforce. It should reflect a fuller picture of learning after high school, placing apprenticeship programs of all types in career and technical education on an even playing field with degrees in colleges from universities. Yep. In agreement. You know what's woke? That. We like this. Every now and then, they say something I don't disagree with. I do think there should be as many opportunities for people who are not going to university to pursue apprenticeship programs, technical education. I actually do think Australia's pretty good about that. We need more tradies. There are not enough of them. It's really hard to book a tradie. Rather than continuing to buttress a higher education establishment captured by woke. There it is. That's right, the Diversicrats. That's my second band name after the woke education mob. I don't remember what it was. Higher educational establishment captured by the woke Diversicrats. Basically, they're saying that anybody who's part of the higher education is woke. Which, again, compliment. Feels a little like a compliment. Feels a little bit like you said everybody who's educated is woke. Which I kind of think they do unironically think, and I kind of take that as a compliment. Smart people, all of them, are gay and woke, okay? And that's bad. I feel like I sound more like Mr. Mackey from South Park than I do like Trump. Okay? If you're smart, you're woke. Which, a huge compliment. Gay. So that's... They do sound kind of similar, though. Fentanyl. You're all on it. And China is bad. I do remember Trump in his first election cycle was like very on China. Like he was really about China. A lot about taking production out of China. Fentanyl's bad, okay? You don't do fentanyl, okay? China. So this is the part we got to. De facto monopoly enforced by the federal accreditation cartel. Federal post-secondary education policy should prepare students for jobs in a dynamic economy, nurture into institutional diversity, and expose schools to greater market forces. Hey. Kinda ate. We don't hate it. We don't hate any of that. You know what? Woke policies, yes! Let's go! Woke policies! I'm so ready! What are they? Abortions for everybody! And skateboards. Radical abortions. Okay, under Francis Collins, NIH became so focused on the Me Too movement that it refused to sponsor scientific conferences unless there were a certain number of women panelists, which violates federal civil rights laws against sex discrimination. NIH became so focused on the Me Too movement. Basically, they're arguing that having a diversity in panelists violates civil rights laws against sex discrimination. I mean, I see how they can make that argument. It's wrong and dumb. But the argument being that men are being discriminated against by virtue of them trying to have more female voices on panels. I get it is bad faith, but I understand that. This quota practice should be ended, and the NIH Office of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion, which pushes such unlawful action, should be abolished. That's brutal. The woke policy is basically inclusion. NIH has been at the forefront in pushing junk gender science. I think we already read that, didn't we? Instead, it should fund studies into the short-term and long-term negative effects of cross-sex interventions, including affirmation, puberty blockers, fuck off. I think I say that every time that anything to do with trans rights comes up. Shut the fuck up and fuck off. Just shut up and fuck off. Just shut up and fuck off. Have you thought about that? Have you considered shut the fuck up and fuck off? You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Plus woke, plus gay, plus fentanyl, plus ratio. Refocusing labor regulation on the good of the family. Okay. The DE&I revolution in labor affected not only the administrative state, but has also targeted much of the private sector, Owing to the combination of regulatory pressure and eager human resources office in the private sector, much of American labor and employment policy has become institutionally oriented towards woke goals. Sick. Retracting regulations that support this revolution is a good first step, but more indeed, we must replace woke nonsense with a healthy vision of the role of labor policy in society, starting with the American family. Again, though, they never mention what woke is. Allow workers to accumulate paid time off. Lower and middle income workers are more likely to be in jobs that are subject to overtime laws that require employers to pay time and a half for working more than 40 hours a week. Yes? Congress should enact the Working Families Flexibility Act. I don't know what that is. The Working Families Flexibility Act would allow employees in private sector the ability to choose between receiving time and a half pay or accumulating time and a half paid time off, a choice that many public sector workers already have. I didn't know that you didn't already have that. For example, if an individual worked 2 hours of overtime every week for a year, he or she could accumulate 4 weeks of paid time off to use for family leave, vacation, or any reason. Woke and gay? We all like workers accumulating time off. Okay. Hang on. Are these examples of the woke options? Because that sounds pretty woke to me. Congress should incentivize on-site childcare. Across the spectrum of professionalized childcare options, on-site care puts the least stress on parent-child bond. Yeah. Great. Great. On-site childcare, that sounds like it would be really helpful to a lot of people. That does sound pretty socialist, actually. Wow. Congress should amend the Fair Labor Standards Act, FLSA, to clarify that an employer's expenses in providing on-site childcare are not part of an employer's regular state of pay. Yep. That's very commie. Am I reading the woke ones? This is pretty fucking woke, you guys. Did the document wait until page 586 to get woke and gay, maybe? DOL should commit to honest study of the challenges for women in the world of professional work. They have to be listing the woke policies. They have to be. The negative woke policies are time off, on-site childcare that does not come at the cost of the parent. DOL should commit to honest study of the challenges for women in the work and professional world. The women's bureau at DOL tends towards a politicized research and engagement agenda that puts predetermined conclusions ahead of empirical study. Well, we don't love that, but that sounds great too. The Bureau should rededicate its research budget towards open inquiry, especially to disentangle the influence on women's workforce participation and to understand the true causes of earning gaps between men and women. This has to be the work policies. It has to be the work policies. That meaning that, are you telling me that you're against workers accumulating paid time off? I'm confused. Equalize retirement savings across married households. I'm reading the policies they want to replace. Okay, good to know. Equalize retirement savings. Does that mean that this is a policy? There's no way that's a policy. The spectrum of professional healthcare options, is that a thing? I mean, not that I've ever seen. Equalize retirement saving access across married households. The limit on individual contributions to a 401k, 403b, or similar work-based retirement account is $222,500 for 2023. Individuals who do not work or do not have access to a work-based retirement account can save up to $6,500 in an IRA. This individual-based system creates a disadvantage for married couples with only one spouse who works or with two working spouses, one of whom who earns less than the maximum retirement account contribution. Equalize retirement savings. Okay. I don't think I disagree with any of these. Except this. But, again, you'd need a source. I disagree with research that would put an engagement agenda with predetermined conclusions ahead of empirical study. That's kind of it. To equalize access to free tax retirement savings for married couples, the limit for married couples on 401k and similar work-based retirement savings accounts should be double the limit for individuals regardless of the allocation of work between the couple. I'm confused. Where it mentioned gay. I don't know enough about the 401ks to comment on either of these things either. Family Statistics every month, DOL's Bureau of Labor Statistics surveys tens of thousands of households to generate detailed estimates of labor market conditions and price levels, and every quarter the Department of Commerce's Bureau of Economic Analysis estimates the change in the entire economy's output to the fraction of a percentage point, yet data on the state of the American family and its economic welfare are released at best annually and generally a year or more after the fact. Metrics like marriage and fertility rates, the share of children living with biological parents, the cost of standard basket of middle-class essentials, and the share of families whose highest income worker earns more than twice the... You want to change the statistics? Congress should establish an assistant commissioner for family statistics. I have almost no opinion on that. This chapter was wild. Refocusing labor regulation on the good of the family. The DEI revolution in labor affected not only the administrative state, but it has also targeted much of the private sector. Owing to the combination of regulatory pressure and eager human resources officers in the private sector, much of the American labor and employment policy has become institutionally oriented towards woke goals. Has it? Retracting regulations that support this revolution is a good first step, but more is needed. We must replace woke nonsense. Oh, this is the same thing. It just gave me the second time it said woke. I've read it twice and my brain doesn't even fucking remember. It happens, man. A woman in the workplace is taxable. The people who you pay to care for the kids are taxable. Stop thinking left, right, work on work. Start thinking bottom line, and it all makes sense. What? It doesn't make sense because I wasn't clear on if it was, because of the way it was laid out, if it was saying those were the work policies it did like, or those were the policies it was trying to enact. That's what was unclear. ESG considerations unrelated to investor risk and return necessarily sacrifice trust laws. Shit, I don't know anything about. I can't talk to you about retirement savings. Treasury mission drift into a woke agenda. Even the Treasury has drifted into a woke agenda? Exemplified in a comparison of domestic finance change responsibilities from 2015 to 2023. We've made it to the end of woke, everybody. It's the end of woke. We've done it. Only 35 mentions. Autism. No mentions of autism, whole document. Gay. There's no way there's only one gay mention. They really only say gay one time? Oh, gamer? Games. Require that war games. Gamesmanship. Conservatives are more skeptical concerning... Hang on. The FTC can and should institute unfair trade practices proceeding against entities that enter into contracts with children without parental consent. Personal parental responsibility is, of course, key, but the law must respect, not undermine, lawful parental authority. Other conservatives are more skeptical concerning the effect of online experience on young, comparing the concern about social media to concern about video games, television, and bicycle safety. What? What? Hang on a minute. Bicycle safety? Other conservatives are more skeptical concerning the effect of online experience on the young, comparing the concern about social media to concern about video games, television, and bicycle safety. Okay. Hang on. Basically, they're saying some conservatives are skeptical that there are negative effects of online experiences on the young in the same way that people initially thought they were for video games or television or bicycle safety. It came out of nowhere. The sentence makes sense. That's only video game mention in this whole document, though. That's the only time. Okay, so we already searched. We want to search Antifa. No Antifa mention. Oh, hang on, there's 3. The department has devoted unprecedented resources to prosecuting American citizens for misdemeanor trespassing offenses or violations of the FACE Act while dismissing prosecutions against radical agents of the left like Antifa. At least it's got a source. Antifa-led Portland. Oh, that's just the source. And then there's only one other mention. Same thing. They've only mentioned Antifa in this one sitting when it was because they dismissed a prosecution against somebody in Portland, I guess. That's it. That's not that much. I wonder how many times it mentions masks. Mask mandates. Presidents should not issue masks or vaccine mandates. Think of masked soldiers. Moreover, our military has adopted a risk-averse culture. Think of masked soldiers, sailors, and airmen rather than instilling and rewarding courage. Oh, using masks in a different context. The un-American mask and vaccine mandates. Oh, I got rid of it, sorry. It's a lot of mask mentions. Not that many, considering the size of the document. Masks provide little to no benefit. Infants below the age of 2 should don masks. Can also mask closures to masks and vaccine mandates or passports. Haven't they kind of already ended? I feel like anyone ever in Ukraine. 22 mentions of Ukraine. Ooh. The United States and its allies also face real threats from Russia as evidenced by Vladimir Putin's brutal war in Ukraine, as well as from Iran, North Korea, and transnational terrorism at the time when decades of ill-advised military operations in the greater Middle East. I wonder if it mentions Israel. Wants to support Ukraine. Great. We love that. It is not pro-Russia. Israel. 7 Israel mentions, huh? No, that's just a university mention. That is a person. Sustained support for Israel, even as America empowers Gulf partners to take responsibility for their own coastal air. Okay, so that is them asking for increased conventional defense, burden sharing. They do want to help Taiwan and the Asia-Pacific, like Japan and Australia, to create a collective defense model, transform NATO so that US allies are capable of fielding great majority of conventional forces required to deter Russia, anti-Russia, sustain support for Israel, even as America empowers Gulf partners, enable South Korea to take lead in its conventional defense against North Korea. This is all pretty standard. Shout out to Australia. Is NATO gay? Definitely NATO is gay. Yeah, that's not many Israel mentions other than just pro-Israel. View naturally to build a Middle East security pact that includes Israel. That's exactly what I was saying earlier. That's all they fucking care about, is basically a Middle East security pact. That's all they fucking care about. Bilateral development relationships with Japan, Israel, Kuwait, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. Wow, that's interesting. They call it the Arab-Israeli conflict? Ooh, I don't like that. Wow, that is specific wording. Holy shit. Damn. President Trump, Abraham Accords signaled the end of the centrality of the Arab-Israeli conflict. Yikes, which paralyzed U.S. approaches to the region and focused instead on Iran as a principal threat to America from this region. Why did you think that Palestine was a huge threat to the U.S.? That's fucking weird. I've never heard anybody call it that before. Yeesh. What else? What else we got? LGBTQ. Only 7. Okay, let's try LGBT. 12. Interesting that they flip-flop between how many times they mention it. Climate change. They've mentioned climate extremists. Still not sure what those are. Climate change. A lot of climate change mentions. Oh, interesting. They call Arab-Israeli conflict as not referring to the war in Gaza. It's referring to just Arabs in general. Okay. And it's a very long-standing way of describing it since the 60s, well through the 2000s. I guess I've just never heard that before. Arab-Israeli conflict. Yeah, you're right. It's literally what they call it on Wikipedia. Phenomenon involving political tension, military conflicts, because it's referring to more than just Palestine. But I doubt they mentioned Palestine in the document anyway. Fair enough. That's why they are eager for America to sign international treaties on everything from pharmaceutical patents to climate change to the rights of the child. The NCS should rigorously review all general and flag officer promotions to prioritize the core roles and responsibilities of the military over social engineering and non-defense matters, including climate change. They basically just want to defund any climate change studies. They just want to get rid of it. Okay. I want to find the validity of this document. That is the next goal. Does it actually mean anything? Like, do I think that there's some shit in there that's really scary? Yes. There's a lot of nothing there. Crazily, like a couple of things I was like, all right, yeah, let's get rid of monopolies, dude. Let's do that. Personnel. I need you to tell me policy. You already read it. Forward. Who it's written by. Tell me about Kevin. Tell me about old Kev. Who is he and what is he doing? There's only the foreword, so he didn't really write the whole thing, but President of the Heritage Foundation in October 2021. Get out of here. Austin-based nonprofit. Hey, thank you, Dragons. Thanks for the raid. Yes, Aaron, we did read the part about cutting the Department of Education. They would prefer it go to the states. We did read that, yes. Austin-based nonprofit under Roberts' leadership, doubled in size. Okay, so it works with charities. Including education, healthcare, border security. What? I'm confused. What? Healthcare, border security. Did they mention healthcare anywhere? Okay, many a healthcare. Think of dedicated teachers or healthcare professionals, entrepreneurs or plumbers throwing themselves into their business. Anyone who sees a job well done as a personal reward. Socialist Senator Bernie Sanders' home state of Vermont was forced to repeal the state's single-payer healthcare system just 3 years after creating it. The Soviet Empire was a social and economic failure. North Korea, this is just like basically communism bad, which, again, we don't disagree with that. Communism functionally has never actually worked, / no true communist society even exists. The White House also relies on Congress to enact reforms promised by President on the campaign trail, whether those promises relate to healthcare, education, whatever. For example, there are areas of immigration and border security, healthcare, energy. No. Tell me what you want to do with healthcare. Another important area is the promotion of healthcare reform to bring down costs for the American people and the pressure that spending on health programs puts on the federal budget. Would we like to bring down costs for the American people? Yes. Do we think that that should be via spending on health programs for the federal budget? No. We're okay with that part. We can't, in order to do this part, we've been over it, everybody. Less tank, more teeth. That's my slogan going into Alanah 2025. Less tank, more teeth. Federal budget spend on bringing costs down for American people, good. Actually, good. We like that, actually. Feel good about it. The efforts have included serving on the NSC Principals Committee, heading the National Space Council, addressing administration on border issues, leading the response to healthcare crisis. Okay, shut up. Yeah. Oh, who would be responsible for the healthcare crisis? Oh, it just keeps listing healthcare and lists of things, but it's not telling me how to fucking help with healthcare. Okay. Basic human needs include equal and safe access to potable water, sanitation, food, education, healthcare. Yes. Houses of worship, justice, pregnancy, and family resource centers, working capital, electricity, technology, and business opportunities. The Office of Women, Children, and Families should implement the Geneva Consensus Declaration on Women's Health. Yep. Great. We agree. Healthcare good. Healthcare good. Focusing on holistic healthcare and support for women, children, and families. The continued high rate of maternal and infant mortality is a persistent global tragedy. Contrary to current publicity, the problem is not solved by abortion. Families genuinely cherish children. The next leadership USAID must focus attention on women and children's health, including unborn children, as well as again, we agree, including childhood infections, cervical cancer, adolescent risk, and family stability by utilizing a coordinated approach. The Bureau should implement a request for application for resilient families that harvest collaborative funds from siloed programs. That's interesting. Makes individuals and the family, not diseases or conditions, the true focus of intervention. How? But how? What's the plan for doing that? Less tank? We agree. Why do you keep talking about Africa? Leveraging strength of experience of precedent. Millions of people are alive today because of America's people's investment in PEPFAR and PMI. The training, lab, clinical intervention, health education, data collection, and organizational platforms of these programs became bedrock for responding to the COVID pandemic. It is time for these programs to become part of an integrated, strong, and sustainable network. We agree. Healthcare and public health in developing countries. Oh, you want to help in developing countries? I mean, I'm not against that, obviously, but a smooth transition to national ownership and funding, however, will require better coordinated with USAID zone. What is a suggestion for the healthcare funding? Where money? How money for healthcare? Global humanitarian assistance. U.S. government is the world's largest humanitarian actor. We're not against that, right? I think we're okay with that. That's good. Abortion is a form of healthcare. Abortion, euthanasia, and healthcare. Basic economic holds that costs tend to decrease, quality and options tend to increase when there is robust and free competition in the provision of goods and services. Healthcare is no exception. Great. Basically, just capitalism. They are saying more tank, more money for healthcare. They're not saying healthcare reform should be patient-centered and market-based. Yeah, I don't agree with market-based healthcare. I don't agree with market-based healthcare. It's not what we want. Because then they don't give a shit. They just charge. You know how planes work? Do you know how planes make money? Basically, the people who fly first class fund the whole plane. Economy is effectively operating at a loss. What if society? Think about it. What if society? Market-based healthcare, bad. Should empower individuals to control their healthcare, basically to not have healthcare. Related dollars and decisions. No. Market-based healthcare is not affordable healthcare. That is how you get people addicted to drugs. That is how you overprescribe things to people. Well, we figured out the answer. Glad that I found it. Of course, providers who deliver healthcare also need the freedom to address the unique needs of their patients. States should be the primary regulators of the medical profession, and the federal government should not restrict. Man, they're really pro-states, huh? Finally, America's broken insurance system, I agree, run largely through confusing provider networks. I also agree with that. And third-party payers, employers, induces overconsumption of healthcare. Nope. No, it doesn't. Limiting consumer shopping. Consumer shopping is how you're talking about healthcare? Limits consumer shopping? Whoa, hang on, no. That's okay. It's referring to consumers going to different providers, which is true, because you can't, because you're locked out of them. It hides true cost from patients. Also sort of true. I could not disagree with this more strongly. I called 12 dentists today, you guys. I called 12 dentists. 12. They all fucking told me to fuck off. Okay? I'm not having it. Healthcare reform should be patient-centered and market-based. Yeah, we figured that one out. So, what was I looking at? Kevin here? I didn't really get anything about Kevin. Heritage is known throughout the conservative movement and policy community. I really need my glasses. I've been reading for way too long. I can't fucking see anymore. As a lifelong movement conservative, I have always seen Heritage as a beacon of conservatism and the American dream. In recent years, as I've worked with Heritage scholars on several issues, I came to appreciate Heritage's critical role. I mean, he's conservative, but like this is all kind of fine. Like, it doesn't mean anything to me. White House office. This is who wrote each part, I guess. So yeah, it's just going to take me to, I'm just unclear on the validity of this document / what it means. Like, have they laid out a bunch of shit? Sure. What? But for what? Like, it doesn't mean it'll actionably become anything. Is Project 2025? Yeah. This says Trump claims not to know who's behind Project 2025. A CNN review found at least 140 people who worked for him are involved. I don't think that means anything. Oh, it's Banjo. My little Banjo. Is that my little boy? Oh, hello, handsome. Hello, handsome. I haven't seen you in hours. I'm sorry, it's been so long. We're white girls politicking. You know how it is. Oh, little Banjo. Oh, little Banjo. Come here. Look at you, little face. Oh, you're so handsome. What's your foot doing under my knee? Hello, handsome. Hello, Banjo. Oh, the little Banjo. Hi. Hi. What's you doing? You speak? Can you speak? Excuse me, can you speak? Oh, Banjo, you got to speak. Oh, you speak. Can you speak to me? Oh, I'd vote for him. I'd vote for him in a heartbeat. Little Banjo, but Panda. Hello. Hello, handsome. You just want me to scratch your butt? You just came in here so I'd scratch your little butt? Is that what happened? You just walked in here and you had me scratch your butt? Is that what it was? Huh? Oh, you're so cute. Look at your little face. You're just so cute. You're just so cute. Oh, I love you so much. Yeah. The camera is tracking me, yes. I like it. I think it's funny. Hey, handsome. Hi. Hang on, let me change the camera. Him coming in here means I should probably stop, but I have still not figured out the validity of the document, devastatingly. Little Banjo. Little Panda. Little Munchkin. Nope, not that. Nope, not that either. There we go. Banjo, come back. Can you come back up? Or are you done? You said now fuck you, bitch. Can you speak? Can you speak? Oh, that was a good one. Can I have a bowl? Thanks, baby. Good boy. He's such a good boy. He's such a good boy. Look at him. Look at his little face. You speak. Oh, wow, 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 wow. That's how you talk. Apple. Apple for me. Not for you, but for me. He's so fucking cute. He's the cutest. He's so goddamn cute. I still have not figured out the validity of this document. The president said he didn't know who was behind it. Former president, sorry. But that, like, doesn't... It can be people he worked with without that being untrue. You know what I mean? What is it? Is it Trump's plan? What is it? The fuck is it? Heritage Foundation is a right-wing think tank out of Washington, D.C. Launched it to assemble an army of aligned, vetted, trained, and prepared conservatives to go to work. Sorry, I didn't realize I hid my chat box as well. There we go. It's basically just something that this foundation published. It is a plan to overhaul multiple federal government agencies, including the FBI, Department of Justice, and Department of Education. And it has not necessarily been endorsed by anybody. It aims to repeal parts of the initiatives Joe Biden and Obama set out. Deportation of undocumented immigrants is high up on the to-do list. Undoes LGBTQ rights, including banning with people with HIV. I didn't know that. I did know the transgender from serving in the military. Rescinding regulations that bar discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation, gender identity, blah, blah, blah. Sweeping tax cuts and changes to the tax code, which will impact those with lower incomes while benefiting those with a higher income. We feel negatively about that. Reversal of DEI programs, they totally had a ton of shit about that. More nuclear weapons, didn't see that. That goes against less tank. Less tank, more teeth. 2025. Dismantling the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Yeah, they really fucking hate climate change. Why are people worried about it? One of the main things in the playbook, the reinstatement of Trump executive order augmenting a president's power to hire and fire federal officials. Yeah, we hate that. Pre-screening of ideologies. So, the organizers want Trump to follow it, but he has not in any way done so. The businessman turned politician has tried to distance himself from the Heritage Foundation after Biden slammed him. Trump took to Truth Social Media in an attempt to lead the narrative away from his affiliation with the Heritage Foundation writing. I know nothing about Project 2025. I don't know who's behind it. I disagree with some of the things they're saying, and some of the things they're saying are absolutely ridiculous and abysmal. I think that's kind of the end of it. So it seems to me that this is a document written by the Heritage Foundation and a bunch of people who are part of the Heritage Foundation who may have previously worked with Trump. Like, I don't think he's lying. I mean, it's not like I would assume he's not lying about anything, but I don't assume he's lying about not knowing who made it, because that's like, you know, someone who I used to work with at IGN could write an article and I'd be like, I don't know who's behind this. Like, it doesn't, do I think he did his research? No. He may be lying. I don't know. But it seems like it is an article from a foundation writing a bunch of shit they would like to see happen with the next conservative government. It does not necessarily mean that any of it would happen. Doesn't necessarily mean it won't, though. I am unclear. That is their plan. That's the plan of the Heritage Foundation, yes. There are many Chinese people backing Heritage Foundation? That's confusing. Aren't they like, they were super anti-China the whole way? What do you mean it's Trump's plan? Where's the proof of that? That is the Heritage Foundation's plan. How do you get that it's Trump's plan?
Oh, you little scratchy butt boy. He just wants me to scratch his butt all the time. You didn't want me to scratch your little butt all the time. You're so cute. Look at your little face. Hi. Head. There you go. Give me a little ear rub. I'll rub your ears.
Trump has embraced Heritage Foundation policies in the past. I don't doubt that he would still embrace some things in there. Trump is lying. It's literally written by his administration. That doesn't appear to be true. A lot of Chinese IPs found in the hack? That's so weird. His last administration implemented 64% of their policies. See, I wouldn't doubt that. I wouldn't doubt that he agrees with about 65% of their policies. That, I think, would be correct. Just not 100% of it. Heritage Foundation also came up with the idea for Obamacare? Hey, what if he just enacts the, like, 2 parts that I thought were alright? Like, preventing monopolies. What if that happened? Wouldn't that be sick? The Heritage Foundation has put a version of this doc in front of every conservative president since Reagan. Again, I don't doubt that. All I'm trying to say is it doesn't necessarily mean any of this would happen. It doesn't. If only 64% happened, I mean, it's still fucking terrible either way. Didn't like the document, except for the other stuff about monopolies. What's the point of questioning it? Am I for Trump? What kind of logic is that? No, I'm not for Trump at all. I'm extremely liberal. But what do you mean, what's the point of questioning it? That's a dumb take. You should question everything. We question the validity of all things. 80% of the Heritage Foundation went for Trump's administration. It looks like a significant amount of them did. And it's like, if Trump got in, would he enact some of these policies? Like, literally 100% yes, definitely he would. It just doesn't mean it would be all of it. But maybe I'm just being autistic again, where it's like, but my issue is the people on the internet said it would be all of it, and it's not necessarily all of it, because I get very hung up on exact words and meanings. But that, like, it's the image that's getting me. Project 2025. That's the thing that's getting me, is that image of him with the fist up or whatever, listing the Project 2025 goals with Trump next to it. Presidential transition project. This feels like it is saying that Trump is for definitely all of these things.
Oh, you brought your duck up? Is it duck time? He just went and got his duck and then came back?
He has not necessarily endorsed all of these things. That's all I'm saying.
You ready? You want to catch a duck? You gonna catch the duck? You ready? You ready?
You suck. That was a really shit catch, Banjo. You didn't even try to catch it. You speak.
Oh,
right. I think I need to go. The dog needs attention. We read through it. Plenty of it was fucking stupid and bad. But also, you're all woke and gay. Have you thought about that? My only thing is that there doesn't appear to be a 100% link saying that Trump would definitely support this. So he said parts of it are wrong and bad, and I feel like that's misleading. But I guess, you know, maybe that makes it sound like I'm a Trump supporter. Facts, man. I don't know what you want me to say. I don't know what you want me to say. Woke and gay. Fentanyl. All right, everyone. Thanks for hanging out. I intend to stream again tomorrow night. Now that the Elgato is working. We're going to finish the fucking Alan Woke DLC. We're going to do it. It's the future the liberals want. Radical abortions and climate extremes. That's the future the liberals want. Who should I raid? Let's go raid Gina. She's playing Elden Ring. Thank you for hanging out, everyone. I will see you, in theory, around the same time tomorrow. I'm getting a facial tomorrow, though. That, my face is going to look real fucked up afterwards. So, just prepare for that, I guess. Thanks to everyone. Stay gay and woke. Do fentanyl. Don't. Am I allowed to say that? Am I going to get banned from Twitch now? Oh no.